Hello guys, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Bahja. If this is your first time seeing my face, then hey, welcome to the channel. And if you've been here before, like always, it is an honor and a pleasure to have you here with me. Now, I never in a million years thought I would be sitting here filming a video like this today. In fact, this is actually embarrassing. This is humiliating. Let me tell you guys how a dream event, something that was meant to be empowering, inspiring, turned into a complete smear campaign against me, where people were harassing me, threatening to jump me, threatening to shoot up the event, going on live, talking about my family, harassing my family, making think pieces about me on social media, all because someone who I really wanted to share this experience with lied. Straight up lied. Created this narrative about me that is not true. And so today I'm going to be telling you guys everything that happened. We're going to go through the text messages, timeline, literally everything. I just can't believe it. Truly and genuinely, it's actually almost funny because it's so bad. It's so bad. It just blows my mind. This is bottom of the barrel activity, and I never thought I would be doing something like this. However, when somebody is dragging your character, somebody is harming you and your business and your image and really just creating a narrative that isn't true around you, you gotta speak up. Today is November 30th. This went down probably like 2 weeks ago. The reason why I am deciding to speak up later on, because this video is not coming out until after the event, is because the people that I'm dealing with online are not people that know me, are people that were waiting for a moment to get on a hate train against me. It was those people who say, oh, I always knew there was something weird about her. Those are not the people that I'm here to entertain. Hopefully, first of all, it's already died down. People are so quick to move on to the next thing, but also I'm not the type of person to entertain weird TikTok drama. I'm not that girl, and I never will be that girl. When it comes to my business, it comes to my image, I have to stand up for myself because that is literally what I preach on here. So why would I not speak my truth? If it was some petty drama, cool. But this is an entire smear campaign. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm hosting an event here in Minneapolis on December 27th. It is meant to be a beautiful night. 300 women are going to be coming together in one room. It's a New Year's type of event where we walk in, leave behind everything that no longer serves us. It really is a night for us to connect and come together. And this is something that we don't get in Minneapolis. This is something that is very aligned with me. And if you guys have been here on this channel, you guys know this is the stuff that I talk about. This is what I've built my entire platform around. And so being able to connect with the community and bring women together was always, always, always the goal. It's something that I've been talking about with you guys for a really long time as well. This year was just the year that I'm like, I need to make this happen. However, this year has been a very difficult year, so I never got the opportunity to actually bring it to life. So many changes in my life. It is nothing that I've hidden. It's something that I've been very honest and open about. A lot of things happening with my family, a lot of life changes. So it's just been an extremely heavy year. In August, I decided this is something that has to happen. Like if I do anything for the rest of the year, it is bringing this event to life. That being said, I just wanted to share that moment with somebody, especially because the whole purpose is community and coming together and not having to go through an experience like self-development on your own, because it is very hard. And I've done it by myself for a long period of time. It's the reason why I came to social media, because I wanted to share my journey with the girls and hopefully connect with women who are also going through the same thing. So I decided to bring somebody on. Me and this girl were never friends. We were never close at all. But when I saw her, I saw potential. When I saw her, I saw her work ethic. I saw how driven she was. And I thought she was the perfect person to bring on. And so I extended an invite. Now, I want to talk a little bit about our relationship, because the narrative online is that I am somebody that she knew for years and we were friends for a really long time, when that just is not the case. We were mutual since 2021. However, it was one of those like mutuals on Instagram who like you'll swipe up on their story once or twice and just compliment each other and say, oh my God, you look so beautiful. That is what our relationship was not like. It was nothing more. It was nothing deep. Earlier this year, I started noticing her content a lot more. So I reposted one of her posts on my story. I reposted her on my story. February 13th, and she responded, "Ah, love you." And I sent her a voice note. I've been open about this. Anytime I feel inspired by someone or I truly just like love what they're doing, I will always give people their flowers. So I'm gonna play this voice note, but basically I was just telling her I love what she's doing. I'm so proud of her, and I think she's a star. Girl, I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you. And you're just such a star. Wallahi, you are such a star. Allahumma barik, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds. Like, you are just so good at what you do, and you're literally a star. I'm telling you right now, like, you know how people say you don't really see your potential, but other people can see your potential. Bro, you are gonna be, I don't even know what you're gonna be, but you are a star. Like, I can't stop saying that. That's the only word that comes to mind. Okay. Period. So that was like kind of like our first interaction, and then we added each other to our close friends, but even then it was just kind of like swiping up on each other's stories, showing love, showing support. And then in March, she came home to visit. She's from Minneapolis, which again is another reason why I thought she would be a perfect person, but is currently living in Chicago. So she came to visit like her family and stuff, and we hung out on March 31st. And even then I posted a video where I was talking about how I have worked so hard on becoming the woman that I am, that I don't trust the world with myself, and I really wanted to step outside of my comfort zone and make new friendships. That is also all documented on my TikTok. So yeah, we really got along. And then I didn't see her after that. Of course, we kept up online and on social media, but I didn't see her again until September during New York Fashion Week. And we hung out once then too. But before that, in August, I did reach out to her and send her a voice note, basically telling her I would love for her to be a part of this project, and I couldn't think of anybody better. For now, I will be posting our entire conversation from there till now kind of on the side, just so that we can use it for timeline and just so that you guys can kind of see our dynamic. I would never post a private conversation that I had with somebody, but she already posted it, and she used it kind of as a receipt. She used it in a way of like, oh, I have nothing to hide, without ever giving context. So we're gonna go through our entire text message thread, which I know it's crazy. So it was August 18th. I remember I was on a walk outside, and usually when I'm on my walks, guys, I'm so deep in my thoughts, and so I was really thinking about the event again. It is something that I've literally envisioned time and time again. So I sent her a quick voice note. It is a whole 3 minutes long. I'm gonna put a screenshot of the entire transcript if you guys want to read it, but I'm gonna kind of skip to the part where I'm talking about the event. Also, I have been like, there's just like this itch that I just feel like needs to be scratched immediately. No pressure, and like, I don't know, I feel like maybe it's just me, but whenever an idea comes up or there's something that I want to do, like, I just want to like literally drop everything and like jump on that one thing, but no pressure. Like, this is just an idea and I want to put it out there, and like, you're the person that comes to mind every single time, and there's like nobody better that I would want to do this with. Anyway, one of my biggest goals this year has been to do a live in-person event, and this is something that I'm like, the year cannot end unless it's done. So I was wondering if you would want to host an event here in Minneapolis with me. I know you just started your new job too. I want it to be like a panel style or like workshop, and I really want it to be for the girls, and it could be like a space where we can just like all come together. And when I think of this, I think big. I feel like it would be so fun, and I just can't think of a better person to like execute this with. And I think you have such a good audience, and obviously you have so much value to give. I think you're just so fun, and like, girl, I have so many ideas. So let me know if this is something that you would be open to. And I feel like if we were to do it in Minneapolis, like, it would do so good. Like, I feel like the girls need it. I feel like we need it. But yeah, let me know. Okay, I'm realizing I talk a lot and I yap a lot. However, I was very excited about this event. I had so many ideas. I really just wanted to bring somebody on to this, and she responded with absolutely. I literally got a DM the other day saying, please do something the next time you're in Minnesota. So that's actually funny. Let's actually do it. We got to put our whole foot into it. Thank you for thinking of me for this. And she did follow follow up with a voice note where she's basically just saying that she's super excited. We were both very much on the same page, and I was so excited. And I was like, we need to get on a call. And then she's like, I'm free around 8 p.m. tomorrow. And I was like, okay, perfect. Cool. We planned for 8 p.m. tomorrow. Thursday, August 21st, I sent her a photo of me at 9:17, and I was like, me waiting all hour for the call. LMAO, I'm sure you're busy. We'll make something work after your trip, queen. Yeah, so she missed our first meeting. She was like, OMFG, I'm sorry, bro. I literally just got home from a company meeting. Also, sorry, I literally put it in my calendar. I could do Sunday. This was our first ever meeting, and she couldn't make it. And the reason why I'm emphasizing this is because this is something that continued to happen over and over and over and over again. We're just being girls, supporting each other. I supported her when she signed up for Sephora Squad, like just yippity yappeting. I'm gonna skip to the parts that actually make sense. We both were in New York. When we were in New York, we didn't really talk about the event other than just saying, oh my God, like it's so exciting. Like we can't wait for this event. September 6th, again, I reached out and I was like, Hallie Jama, are you free at 3 p.m.? And she was like, is this for Saturday or today? I was like, today, but tomorrow after like 2 p.m. I'm free. She was like, today, yes. Tomorrow you won't be free till later in that day and I have meetings. And I was like, okay, perfect. Let's aim for 1:30 or 2. So we ended up getting on a call that day, and that was our first ever call. We just kind of shared the vision, went over our ideas. I kind of shared my ideas, she shared her ideas, and it felt like we were very much aligned. Basically, we kind of agreed that we would both look into venues and things like that. So September 7th, she sent me a link to purespace.com, and I'm literally going to click this so you guys can see what that looks like. Basically, it is not an event venue. It shows you all the event venues in Minneapolis and in your space. And so she was just kind of like, so many options, oh my God. And she was like, I have an idea, let me get back to you. And I was like, give it to me, give me whatever ideas you have. And also I was giving her ideas such as tooth gems, basically telling her like, I don't think people should pay individually for tooth gems because that was going to be one of the activations or like the activities. And I was like, that could be something that's on us because I really don't want people to come in and have to pay money. And she was just kind of like, I feel like we'd have to see the amount of people because it would be a good way to earn money if we get a percentage of the sales. And then we were just kind of back and forth brainstorming, sending each other voice notes and things like that. And I just want to share some of my voice notes. Actually, this is probably going to be long, but the reason why I want to emphasize this is so that you guys can understand what my intentions were going into this, because the narrative has been completely shifted in a way where I am, money hungry, or I'm a fraud, or it's a scam, or that I have had bad intentions all along and that I'm a liar. Like there's so many things that have been said about me. So me showing you guys all the receipts, it's not I would never do this to begin with, but like, I just want you guys to understand where I was coming from, my intentions, because they have been consistent from the jump and it never changed. I just got in the shower and I was just thinking about this the whole time. And I was thinking about how we could like take a percentage and like, what is our goal when it comes to that? Because I know I said like, I don't care, like even if we break even, like I'm happy, like as long as we break even, whatever. But what do you want out of it when it comes to like how much we earn? Like, do you want, because like it's a completely different way to think about it, and it's a completely different mindset to go into if we want to actually like make money off of it. From there, just like let me know what you think. The way that I was kind of thinking about it was like, okay, this is like our first event. Like obviously, first of all, we don't even know how it's going to go. I truly believe that this is something that's going to eat, and we're going to have way more people wanting to be a part of it than we even think. But like, I was just kind of thinking like, this is our first event. I want it to like be solid, and I want to like build that community. And like my mind wasn't even at like how much we make. Okay, so I'm just thinking out loud right now too, but I'm going to send you like my ideas when it comes to the stand store, obviously, before like solidifying anything. But when it comes to like how we market this and like how we want to present it to people, to make a huge part of it like community based. Yes, we're doing it right before the new year, which is perfect. Our ideal person is somebody who is evolving and growing, hence the name, She Evolves, but like someone who's evolving and growing in every way: career, health, mindset, like whatever it is, even like spirituality, just evolving and growing in any way. And it's not a journey, from my experience, and I'm sure your experience too, because I know how much you talk about connections and like the people that you meet and how far they get you. It's not a journey that you want to embark on by yourself, or it's not one that should be gone through alone, which is why like the community aspect is so important and is the whole point of this event. And it's so much easier to get places when you have people to build with. In this experience or like at this event, I want people to feel that way. I want them to walk out with a feeling of incline, like they gained something from this. First of all, I talk so much, like I'm really getting really annoyed with myself right now, but like I just want you guys to understand like where I was coming from. I wanted to really get an understanding of what she wanted to gain out of this, especially when it comes to finances, because I was not thinking about making money at all. Like I really did not care. I just cared about the community aspect of it. And she even followed up with a voice note and she said that she doesn't care if she doesn't make anything off of it as well. And like we just felt like we were very aligned. Even just throughout the project, I've asked her multiple times, like, I don't think we're making a single dollar off of this. Are you okay with that? And she said yes. At this point, we're just sending like back and forth text messages of like ideas. I'm like, I would really love to have Jamad or Tamiwa Rodia on the panel, just like talking about why I think these people are amazing. September 17th, I sent her the Stand Store password and username right as I was making it, because at first that's the platform that we wanted to sell our tickets and things on. And this is really important because this is the first opportunity that I gave her to show up for the project and actually work on it if that's something that she wanted to do. A huge narrative that she kind of created is that I've always been refusing to give her access to things, and I just never gave her access and never gave her the opportunity to help, when that's just not the case. On September 17th, I gave her the access to the first platform that we were going to use. She never logged in. Never, ever, ever logged in, not even one time. And so,
access being number one, I did not get access to anything that she built until the day before like that Wednesday when we got into the argument.
After New York Fashion Week, and this was Friday, September 19th, is when I sat down and I made an entire doc of all of the logistics. And then I was like, I'm just going to continue spamming you because she wasn't responding. And I was completely okay with that. Like, I understand she's busy, she has things going on. So I never took it to offense that it took her a while to get back to us. But I was saying, I'm spamming you at this point, but let me know when you find venues or whatever you're looking into, like just send it my way. And then she was like, wait, I'm sick, but I'll get back to you. And I was like, oh my God, no worry, please take care of yourself. On September 20th, she texted me back and she was like, this literally sucks. Like, I'm getting over my sickness, like I'm starting to feel better. And I was like, okay, cool. And I sent her photos because that same day I worked on the Stand Store page and I basically built the entire thing, what the night is about. I created a logo. So I sent that to her and she was like, okay, I'm back on the 21st. And she was like, okay, I'm ready to do something. And she was like, haha, we had the same vision for this. Basically just reacting and responding to everything that I say. At this point, we're both kind of working on things we're supposed to be, I guess, working on this project. And then we just kind of come back and share the things that we learned or the things that we pitched or the people that we brought together, the ideas that we have. That's basically what we were doing in the chat. And so I just keep updating her. I'm like, you'll never believe who's open to being a panelist. And I was like, Lexi and Anna, because I took time to actually reach out to them. She's like, oh my God, this is insane. And then I was like, hold on, I fear we need to think big. Mind you, at this point, it is September 21st. I basically told her that Jamad is down and we also got Sandy B locked in, which is a panelist that I wanted to bring on. We kind of like talked about the theme of the whole event, which was evolution and growth. And we really just wanted it to feel like a girls' night out, especially because it's like the new year. So the whole theme was becoming an evolution and the hard parts of it. And we wanted women who we thought were extremely inspiring to come and share their stories. So Sandy B is a Minneapolis creator. She's somebody that inspires me a lot, an amazing creator, entrepreneur, podcaster. So I thought she was the perfect. We also wanted Jamad, and Jamad is somebody who I love and I truly just like love everything that she's doing and what she stands for. And they're all kind of different in their own way. So I thought it would be perfect. And that's the people that I brought up when we were on that first call. And she was like, oh my God, I made sure she had everybody's handles. In fact, it was on the doc that I made. The floor was always open for any sort of, questions or like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this person or concerns. It was always open. It was very collaborative. And she was just happy with these people. She was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And I basically told her we have a full panel. Like if Jamad is down and Sandy's down and me and Hallie, we have a full panel. Like the reason why I'm emphasizing this too is because later on she brings in another character, somebody that she wants to bring in as a panelist. And she says that the panel was never finalized or that we were supposed to talk about that panel this week, which in November. And that's just not the case because we've been talking about the panel. We've been locking people in.
We haven't even discussed the panel yet. which is one of the things she listed. We haven't even done that yet. We were going to do that this week. So I am really confused on what's going on here.
Okay, so now I'm updating her and I'm telling her I reached out to this venue and I think they would be perfect. Like I love it, and it's called Urban Daisy. I reached out to them. I sent them an email pitching the event, telling them this is what we want to do. We would love to host here and so I sent out an email basically telling them what the event was about, what our goal is, and we want to have it here. Please let me know any information that I need to know. I'm sending her photos of this place, screenshots of people who I'm reaching out to, just like actively pitching the event, actively pitching people, and always sharing it with her. She texted me on Sunday, September 21st, and she was like, what is your email that you use for Notion? I want to share something with you. And I gave her my email. And basically, she made a Notion template that she decided to send over to me. This was never something that we actually needed, but it was something that I appreciated. However, we didn't end up using it, and that's it. We didn't really use it. We didn't really do much with it. It wasn't something that we updated consistently. It was just kind of there, and I did appreciate it at the time. However, she used that later on to say, well, I did so much and I made this Notion template. I made a whole website, which Notion is not a website that you can sell things on. But anyway.
I also built an entire Notion page that has so many things that you can look into, like the panelists, the decoration, the schedule, the food and drinks, the marketing, the finances, even a countdown. Like the list goes on and on and on of the things that I put into this event. I already built an entire Notion website. She chose to build a Squarespace website.
And then anytime I had anything to share with her, I was constantly sharing it with her. I made a Pinterest board and I sent it to her. I created the panel doc with information about the panel. So as you guys can see, we have speakers confirmed. And this was way back in September. Okay, the date does matter. It has photos. The panel is about evolution and stepping into your next era. We have confirmed speakers, me and Hallie, speakers that are in progress, Jamad and Sandy B, but we ended up locking them in. Jamad was a little 50-50, but we ended up locking in Sandy. We have the format Q&A at the end. It's gonna run 50 to 60 minutes. We have some potential questions kind of on theme. We didn't want it to be a formal panel. We wanted it to be something that was like a conversation with your girls in a living room. Like that was the vibe, that was the energy. And so we had a theme locked in. We had panelists locked in.
We haven't even discussed the panel yet. We haven't even done that yet. We were going to do that this week.
I sent everything over to her, and then again, I'm updating her about me pitching to brands. So I pitched us to Alani Nu, and then I was like, that's why we're going to get Celsius. So I was going to pitch us to Celsius. She was basically just like responding to everything that I'm saying. There was never an idea so far. So it's end of September at this point. There was never an idea. There was never, hey, Bahja, here's what I did. Here's the brands that I pitched to. Here's the panelists that I reached out to. It was just her responding to every single text that I had, kind of reacting to everything instead of taking any sort of responsibility for anything, really. So now we're talking about charity and putting on that first call that we did, we kind of talked about giving a portion of whatever is made to charity to help people. So I sent her a voice note basically telling her we should focus on women's health or women's mental health or education. And she was kind of like, wait, I love that. Of course, I agree. Definitely women focus. But I think we should strive for something like aiding women who are struggling in other countries. And I was like, yes, like let's make that a top priority though. Like let's get on it because her job was to figure out food and catering and also the charity. And then she's like, okay, bet. I think I might have sent a voice note or something because I was basically asking her to send me her bio so I can add it onto the stand store. And this is a stand store that she has access to, that she can log into, that she can help out with. And then even while in the midst of that, on Tuesday, September 23rd, I sent her the pitch deck. Now, this pitch deck is something that I spent hours doing and putting together. This is basically what we're going to be using to pitch to brands, to pitch to venues, to pitch to anybody, even panelists, just kind of saying, hey, this is our vision. This is what the event is about. And I sent it to her and I said, let me know what you think about the pitch deck. I'm just constantly updating her. Every single DM I get, every single email I get, I send it to her. And she's just kind of always like, okay, we're in between meetings. I'm in between work. I'll get back to this. I'm going to see what we can do. I'm going to talk to my manager. And there was never an update from her end, and I'm constantly updating her with things and she's reacting, and I'm like, also I'm leaving this here. We heard back from the venue and I sent it to her. Really all she's doing is just responding to me and reacting to all the things that I'm telling her, and that's it. Also, at this point, I'm not home. I'm in Montana, but I'm still making the effort and I'm still trying to show up for these calls because they matter. We're supposed to meet that night. And then again, she was like, basically, she had an excuse for why she couldn't come on the call. And I was like, we can do it tomorrow. Like let's just do it tomorrow. And then, just so you're not scrambling, I'm literally shopping for my sister's apartment. So I'm lit. Like, I'm cool. It's whatever. So she's like, okay, bet. Let's do our meeting at 3. Can you, or I have a meeting at 3 with a tech guy. Can we do at 1 p.m.? And so I'm like, yeah, just lock in an exact time and I'm there. Like, just let me know when and I'm there. And I was like, and she's like, 11:30. I was okay with her busy schedule. I really tried to, make it work for both of us. It's not like I have all day. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I don't have anything to do. I'm just like, okay, this is a priority for me. So I'm willing to be flexible. I'm willing to push things off. I'm willing to meet in my car if I have to. Like, let's just make it happen. And so we did get on a call and we kind of discussed things. Usually, like, our calls would just be like updates, but a lot of times it was really just me giving a ton of updates, me talking about what I've been working on, who I've been pitching, what I've heard back, and just like planning those next steps. September 29th, I'm basically updating her again, telling her the prices, what I've negotiated, even sending her emails before I send it. Like, sending it to her saying, what do you think about this? And then she's like, oh my God, fire. Come on, now that eats. Like, cool, cool, cool. And then she said, I'm going to reach out to the caterer after work. And I was like, because her job again was to do the charity and the caterer. Like, at least, like, let's just lock in those things. And those things dragged on till the end of time. Like, it was never getting done. And I was just like knocking things out of the park constantly, like locking things in, putting in the work, sharing updates with her constantly. Another thing is, like, this project mattered so much to me that, like, I was even making sure I kept this at the forefront of my mind. For example, I was gonna do a Mall of America staycation. One of the brands that I really wanted to work with was Little Word Project, and they were on the itinerary. So I was like, oh my God, when I go, I can meet them. I went to another event with Ollie, and when I went to that event, I talked to people, I pitched the event. So I was constantly pitching to the event, constantly, no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, just pitching this event because it mattered. Okay, October 2nd, again, I'm asking her if she reached out to Nabiha, which is a panelist that she recommended. She said she's a good friend of hers, and I actually watch her content and I really enjoy it. And I think that she's somebody who's perfectly aligned. And so I'm like, yes, reach out to her. And so I'm asking her if she has reached out to Nabiha yet. She was like, yeah, but she's literally the worst person to text. And she was like, oh my God, the caterer responded. And then she told me that she found a women's cause. So again, catering and charity is like her priority. I didn't think it was going to take that long. However, she sent this cause that we could support, and I looked into it and I was like, oh my gosh, she's perfect. So basically what she would need to do is like reach out to them or like get more information, figure out what we can do, how to work with them. And I was just kind of like waiting on an update when it comes to that. And then she was like, also, I think a career panel could be super good. Okay, here's her first idea. Amazing. She's like, I think a career panel could be super good since this is evolvement. I was asking my co-founder, she's also a professor, finished her master's and is wrapping up her PhD right now, but she would be an amazing speaker for this. And so I respond and I say, I would love to have a career panel, and I genuinely think it could make the event even more valuable for the girls, especially now with everything going on in the world. That could definitely take it to a whole new level, but we definitely have to figure out the flow and the length of the event. It can be the main thing that we discuss tomorrow. So this is the first time she's ever brought up her co-founder, who she claims is a professor and all these things. And I was like, you know what? That could be amazing. Like, it would be dope to have a career panel. It would be dope to bring on like different things, but we need to keep the flow and the length of the event in mind, because basically what I explained to her on that call was it would be amazing to have separate panels or 2 different panels. However, this is a 4-hour event. Like, this is a very quick and fast event, and we can't have 2 panels. It would make sense to have multiple panels if this was a full day summit. It would make sense. It just doesn't make sense in this case because it is such a small period of time. It's our first event. Not only that, but it doesn't match the theme of the panel at all. It's nice to have different perspectives, which is why we had different types of panelists. So for me personally, I'm very heavy on self-development and faith and like spirituality and things like that. But I can touch on a wide variety of things like business and being an entrepreneur and like all these different things. And then we have somebody like Sandy, who's really good at like self-development and self-care, and she can also touch on entrepreneurship. And then we have Hallie, and I even told told her multiple times, you are the perfect person to talk about career and kind of touch on that topic, because I know that's like your specialty. That's like what you've built your entire social media platform around. So you are that person for us. We can ask specific questions towards you when it comes to career, and like we can all pitch in a way that we feel comfortable. And then if we had the twins on, or one of the twins, it could have been fitness and, things like that. And if we had Jamad on, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody has their own uniqueness to them, but it all comes together at the end of the day under that becoming and evolution and stepping into this next era. So I was basically telling her, yes, she would be valuable. Yes, having a career panel would be cool, but we don't have the space time for that. Like we don't. And on top of that, we're going to have 4 girls up on stage along with kind of like a host who's asking the questions. So that's a lot of people already. And I never once said your idea is bad. I never once said that this wouldn't be valuable. I just said it doesn't make sense for this. But I still gave her opportunities to give me her thoughts on it. Let me know like what she thinks, how we could make it work. What are the solutions? You can't just throw out ideas. That was the first time she mentioned her co-founder. And then I basically was giving her updates on Urban Daisy, even when it comes to the venue. And this is what you have to do when you're planning an event. I reached out to Urban Daisy. I pitched it. I am constantly in communication with them. Not only that, but I went out of my way to even look for a backup one. So I reached out to my friend and I was like, hey, do you know if Hannah has any connections to this other venue? And constantly looking for things to back the event, because this event is not going to create itself. It's not going to be built off of ideas. You have to actually go out and do something. And literally all the time she's just reacting to my messages. And again, at this point, there's still no update on her end, absolutely nothing. And then every single message I send, at this point, I'm in communication with a photographer, the venue, and and panelists, and I'm constantly sending her updates, screenshots, whenever they respond, constantly. And so she's like, hi, I'm in a meeting with HR for my last day tomorrow. Might go over a couple minutes. And I was like, okay, fine. Just call me when you're ready, because we're supposed to get on a call. Again, she has something to do, which is fine. Okay, I was always patient. I was always like, cool, just let me know when you're ready. Cool, let me know when you're ready. She's like, okay, finally ready. Want to start at 4:30? And I was like, period. And she's like, beautiful. Thank you for your flexibility. Mind you, later she turned around and said, I never showed her grace. Mind you, later she turned around and said, I'm super busy. It's not my fault that I'm busy, when I have given her space to be busy. I've accepted it for what it was. I always accommodated her. I always accommodated her schedule. I always took it into consideration, and I never was salty about it.
I chose to give her grace because even though she chose to not give me grace time and again throughout this entire process, I did not want to stoop down to her level.
Now it is October 7th, and the only thing she did was reach out to a caterer. That's it. There's no update from it either. And then one panelist. There's no updates, no nothing. Again, I'm pitching Canva, and then the next day, again, updating her saying, I just pitched us to Olipop. And then she reached out to Health Aid. So this is the first brand that she has pitched so far. And I was like, yay, oh my God, let's go Health Aid. And for the food, when we were on our call, again, catering was her job. She said we should reach out to Lunds and Barley's. And so I reached out to them and I got the contact for her and I sent it to her.
And the food that I was working on getting together. But when I put out options like Lunds and Barley's, Whole Foods, those were immediately shut down. So I started reaching out to restaurants instead.
And this is October 9th. Again, this date is very important because she didn't get in contact with them until basically the end of the month. Also, no response from Urban Daisy, just constantly keeping her in the loop and constantly updating her. And then she updated me on Nabiha. She said she's going to be out of the country in December, so she can't make it. So that is the second panelist that she actually suggested and we were willing to lock in. And one of them couldn't make it. The other one, I kind of expressed how I felt about the situation, and there was no follow-up, there's no update. That's just what it was.
I suggested 2 girls. She had a problem with both of them. I said, okay.
Now I am basically updating her. At this point, I'm on a brand trip and I'm busy, like I have things going on, but I'm still taking time out of my day to update her. So I was like, hey, sorry that I'm being kind of MIA, but I did get a little word project contact. And so literally everything that I do, I'm really just trying to get contacts, really trying to keep in touch with vendors and really like carrying this event. And so I sent her a couple voice notes of just updates. And then again, she's like, wait, gonna listen to your voice note tomorrow. I'm fighting for my life with my period, so I won't register shit. I was like, oh, miskeen, like whatever, take your time. There has been nothing but excuses and reactions this far. Nothing but excuses and reactions. That's it. I'm in contact with a ton of brands at this point. I got the venue and I'm in contact with them. I'm in contact with the photographer. I'm in contact with all of these people, and I'm still continuing to show up and update her.
But also a lot of the activations, she had friends that like who did tooth gems. She had photographers already. Like all she did was name them, and I was like, okay, awesome. And I would look into other research too. So I don't know. I just think questioning my work ethic is absolutely bizarre.
I'm on a brand trip and I'm still updating her. And I was like, am I the crazy one for having a sense of urgency for this? October 14th, she's like, okay, I'm alive again. And she just kind of responds again. I was like, welcome back. Gonna listen to this in like an hour, and I have some updates again because I've been working on this behind the scenes constantly.
Good afternoon. Sorry, I kind of needed to go ghost because I was actually fighting for my life, unfortunately. But I'm feeling somewhat better today, so we're back to reality. So anyways, yeah, I just had to prioritize what I actually needed to get done. Everything else had to be on pause. But yes, I definitely feel the time pressure, especially as this shit counts fucking down every day. How are we, like, I don't understand, but I do. But yeah, the time is pressure, but it's not fun pressure at all. Like, I'm not vibing. I'm not vibing at all, because we have 74 fucking days. Like, that's ridiculous. But okay, so here's what we know for sure. So we have a space, but that is a lot of... Sorry, I'm back. But I think it'll just be easier if we meet, honestly, sometime soon. But yeah, I guess it really just depends on, like, getting the general scope of expenses before making the decision to go through with that. And then also, let me see. Yeah, just thinking of food and drinks, decoration, which decoration we might just have to go a lot simpler for the first year. Food and drinks we 100% want to invest in. And then figuring out like a schedule could be like after we book. Like those things can come after we book. But yeah, I think food, drinks, decoration, event space, if we can get a solid number on those, and then also getting DJ, photographers, exact costs on those, then we can actually like go forward with it. But food wise, are we aligned with the things that we said last time? Because I don't think that's gonna be enough food. Like we have the general like things that we wanted, like the finger foods, but do we want to add anything to that? And are there things that we want her to make versus things that we just want to buy from like...
What I told her is when it comes to like money and how much I want to invest, I was very open from the beginning that I was okay with investing $10,000 into it. And I've always known like not everybody has like the finances to do that, and I never ever expected for her to invest as much as I did. Basically, I sent her a voice note telling her that when it comes to the expenses, we can pay ourselves back. So whoever invested in what, we pay ourselves back. Let's say I invested in the venue, whatever is left, we pay ourselves back first, and then from there we're going to split everything in half. Like whatever profit we make, we can split it in half exactly, because I was like, that is what is fair to me, regardless of how much of a financial risk I took versus how much of a financial risk she took. I was still willing to split whatever we had, whatever profit we made, right down the middle. No ifs, no buts. Like I was completely okay with that. No matter how much effort I put in, no matter how many sales I made, I was okay with just splitting it right down the middle. We were aligned on that. She said, okay, cool. She was like, I'll listen in a bit, but tomorrow works for me. And I was like, okay, let me know what time. Again, she's like, wait, I lied. I have a photo shoot starting in a few hours. Could we do tomorrow? I was like, let's do tomorrow morning, 10 to 12. She's like, that works for me. And I was like, 10:30. And she was like, perfect. And I was like, call me when you're ready. So we got on a call. We just kind of like talked about updates and things like that, just yapped a little bit, caught up just with life in general. And then on Friday, October 17th, she sent me this charity. First of all, I thought we already had a charity locked in, and I thought we were both aligned on that one. But she sent me this other one. She sent some voice notes basically explaining there's this guy on the street as she was walking, and he came up to her and kind of told her about this organization. She's like, this might be a good one to support. Okay, so basically she updated me. She was like, bro, the caterer said that it's going to be $7,800 2,400 and then plus 2,400. I was like, there's absolutely no way. Like, that is way above our budget. That doesn't even make sense. And so we were both kind of like, yeah, that's crazy. I don't think this is going to work out. That is the first caterer and only caterer that she reached out to. And I really told her like multiple times, I was like, find a bunch of people and reach out and get estimates. Like, you can't just sit and wait for one person to come back to you and one person to like respond to you. Go out, get a bunch of estimates. We don't have a lot of time. And again, she's saying she feels the pressure of time, but still isn't doing much to get things done. For the catering, I was like, I talked to my mom about it. My mom has been such a big help when it comes to the event, and like I would just like bounce ideas off of her and things. And I was telling her my mom knows like this caterer. They do like a pancake cart, and I was like, I'm gonna find it for you. I'm gonna find the information. I'm gonna send it to you. Just start reaching out to people. And yeah, basically she was like also looking into catering at Whole Foods and Lunds and Byerly's. Let me know. And I was like, let me know what you find. I'll be looking on my end too. Hopefully we can get something locked in by, or like hopefully we can get some responses so that we can get the ball rolling. Mind you, I already gave her the Lunds and Byerly contact, and just do something. Just do something, please. I was like, okay, say less. The next day, I update her with some things that I'm doing. Sent her the phone number for the pancake cart, and I was like, oh, that's cute. I'm gonna call them, inshallah. And then she's like, so they bring their cooking supplies? And I was like, I'm not sure. Ask them. Like, I'm not 100% sure. Like, ask them about it. Not me. Again, it is October 20th. So at this point, she has sent 2 charities, and both of them, she was like, I think these would be great. I told her I like that first one. Cool. She comes back to me on October 20th and she said, did you find another charity we want to support? My manager needs it for pitching since the proceeds are going to charity. At this point, I was like, why are you asking me? Like, what happened to the 2 charities that you found? Why is this something that you're coming to me to look for? Because this was the 2 jobs that I gave you. Like, I'm already taking care of so many things. I already have so many things on my plate. I'm looking into too many things. Like, what happened to the charity? And it's also interesting because in her video, she did claim that she found a charity, and she used a screenshot of the random guy that walked up to her to say that she found some charities.
I found a lovely foundation. I sent it to her. I found another one. I sent it to her. I thought we confirmed on a foundation. Apparently, I didn't find a foundation. I beg to differ, and so do your text messages. So
however, why are you coming back to me on October 20th and asking me about charities again? And so I was like, no, we can definitely stick with the first one you found, but let me look because I didn't, LOL. And so I remember I was at the gym this day and I was like, there's also Human Appeal. They have so many different projects. And I just started looking into it and I found this other one and I was like, they support refugees. I know we said we wanted to focus on underdeveloped countries. So it's an option and a good one, LOL. And she's like, I'm in a meeting, but shall look after. Never got an update on charity after that, not even once. October 20th, I'm still sending her updates on the event venue, on what my manager said, and at this point, I'm looking into photo booths and negotiating with them and sending her every single email that comes in. You guys, literally looking at this is actually exhausting. And then she was like, I'll listen to those on my walk in 30. Like, it's constantly like, I'll do this later. I'll push this off later. I'm going to call them later. I'm going to do this later. I have a meeting. I have this. I have that. And it never once fazed me. Not one time. Not one time did I get passive aggressive. Not one time did I was just like, okay, cool, she's busy. But like, time is running out and I feel the pressure of time. So like, I'm picking up all the slack. I'm picking up more things. I'm doing all the work and constantly coming to her with updates. And now I'm reaching out to a photographer. So I'm reaching out to photo booth. I'm reaching out to a photographer. I'm taking care of Urban Daisy. I'm now helping with charity and catering, apparently. There's just so much on my plate at this point. I was like, also, here are the photographer rates. Sending her all the information. All she's doing is responding to me. That's really good. Like, there is not one time she actually took, she sent me an update and said, hey, this is what I found. Hey, this is my ideas. She's just constantly reacting to what I say, constantly texting me like, oh my God, that's fire. Oh my God, that's so cool. Oh my God, and I never once complained about it. I was like, it is what it is. Like, just keep going, keep picking up everybody's slack and keep doing all the work because time is ticking. And then again, the DJ was her idea, yet I'm telling her I also reached out to the DJ. I don't think we needed a DJ for the full event. It doesn't even make sense to have a DJ. I was like, we can just have like a jazz playlist, something calm and reflecting. She was like, for now, we just need to collect all the prices. And I was like, yeah, like, there's still nothing that you're actually doing. There's still not something that you're actually contributing. And then I'll let you know about food today. Okay. And I'm like, perfect. And then we could start planning content, making visuals, etc. And by we, I meant me, girl. And by we, I meant me. And then again, on October 21st, and this is a very important part, and I need y'all to listen. I need y'all to open your eyes and ears. I text her, I said, quick question. For Urban Daisy, should I just put my info down for the contract? Basically, it's for anyone who's responsible for payment. I can take care of that portion for now, unless you want me to put you down as well. And what time should should the event start? Did we agree on 5? I don't remember, LOL. Or if we came to the decision at all. October 21st, okay, at 3 o'clock, she never responded to that text message. Not a single response. She got back to me the next day and said, good afternoon. When are we free to meet this week? And she never responded to that question. So obviously I put myself down on the contract and I paid for the venue. And she turned around on social media and went and said, I would have never asked Behja to do that. I would have never asked her to put down the money for the venue. Girl, I literally asked you. I literally asked her, I said, who should I put down? She never responded.
The venue, I never once asked her to cover the venue. She chose to because she already had a connection with this venue. After I did research and found so many other venues, she was like, let's do this one instead. I said, okay, cool. She put down that venue money. I never asked her. In fact, I would have never.
And she turned around and went and said, well, I was going to pay for this. I was going to do this. You was going to do something till the end of time. You still haven't done anything though. You still haven't executed a single thing. And so to go online and say, oh, I never would have asked her to pay. I literally asked you about it. Not only that, but I was cool with covering it. It was never that deep to me. The fact is, I did ask and she never responded to that text. So to say you would never allow me to pay it, oh, I would never let her take on that burden by herself. First of all, I've been carrying this entire event on my back already. And you just kept saying, I'm gonna do this next time. I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna call later. I have a meeting. I have yoga. I have this. And then I asked you about the event venue, which I was cool with covering. And she said nothing. But went to the internet and said, I would never make her pay. I never even asked her to do that. Then who would have paid for the venue? She didn't respond to that, but she responded to my voice note and said, sick, belt to futa. As in like belt to ass. It's belt to ass. But never responded about the Urban Daisy. Now I'm sending her catering options. I was like, or this, just ignore. And I'm like, just ignore me, please. It's way past my bedtime because I'm sending these things at 11 o'clock p.m. Bro, if we do lunch for food, we wouldn't even scratch what that girl was trying to charge us. But you still didn't call. You still didn't email them. You still didn't figure out how much it would cost. You're just coming here and telling me these random things. We're still not making any progress. Again, she sends me this TikTok and she's like, this is a Somali-owned matcha spot in Minnesota. I just responded, I never got the chance to try. And she's like, yeah, I think they would be good to message. Then message them. Like when I come with an idea or the venue or something, like I've already done work. I've already pitched them. I've already figured out the price. And then I'm bringing it to you and asking you, what do you think? But to just like send me a random TikTok you saw while scrolling and send it to me and say, they would be good to message. Who do you want? Do you want me to reach out and message them? Please, like, do something. It's actually so frustrating looking back. And this whole time, guys, I'm not even fazed. So basically on the call, I told her I know this like drink service place that I found and I sent it to her. And then she was just telling me about this event that she went to and how beautiful and simple the decorations was. That's it. That's all the updates she had was she went to this event. It was beautiful. And she said it was like this pasta brand and she's going to try to pitch us to a pasta brand. On that call, I also told her about basically I created like vision boards, okay? I created these vision boards. I was like, we can make reflection cards, thank you cards, custom bookmarks, add some She Evolves cookies, like branded stickers, cute things that girls can take home. I also started planning content. Also on the call, I made the Instagram account and that exact day, I sent her the IG login. I text her on the call and I'm like, IG login, the username She Evolves Live, password Hallie Behja 25. Now, what did this girl do? She went on the internet and said, I never gave her access. I never gave her access to anything. I've always withheld access. I never gave her access to the Instagram. I gave it to her the same day I made it.
I did not get access to anything that she built until the day before like that Wednesday when we got into the argument. There was consistent excuses on why I could not get access to the website, the email, or the Instagram login. Till this day, I have never been able to log into the Instagram.
Just like how I gave her the stand store and she never logged in. And so to weaponize that and to use that against me when not only I've been carrying this whole event, but like I've been sharing with you every single update, every single email, every single text message, every single time I pitch, constantly sending you voice notes and voice notes of updates. And all you're giving me is, here's a matcha spot. They would be cool to text. Maybe we should do London Byerly's. It's not going to be half of what this girl is. Then go ahead and figure it out. And then I reached out to her again. I reached out to the photo booth company. I reached out to another photo booth company, sending her all the options. I already reached out to them. I already got an estimate. I already figured out all the different types of things, and now I'm sending it to her. It's not just an idea, it's already executed. We're already moving. And so I sent her the screenshot of the email they sent me. I sent her even photos of what the photo booth photos would look like, constantly giving her updates. And I'm like, and here's what the photos would look like. Here's what the actual outside of the photo booth looks like, giving her every single detail of every single thing that I do every single day because I'm taking it seriously and I'm doing something about this event every day. And she's over here texting me belt to photo. And guys, I still just continue to show up. I still didn't say anything. I still didn't feel any type of way. I didn't even really like notice because I really did enjoy what I was doing. And it is something that I'm passionate about. And it is something that I've worked really hard for. And it's been a part of just like my vision all year. She responds to me later that day. Boo, this place isn't answering. Called 3 different times, but maybe Monday. She's talking about the pancake cart whose phone number I gave to her how long ago? How long ago? She said she called 3 different times. They didn't answer. And she's like, ooh, the photo booth looks nice, but I feel like that's a lot of money towards photos because we would also have a photographer. It doesn't hurt to get a quote. It doesn't hurt to reach out to people because you'll never know. They might want to work with you. They might want to give you a discount, which I did land a collaboration with them. That is what you have to do when you want to bring something to life. You have to negotiate. You have to send emails. You have to call and text and try to reach them on every single platform, especially when we're in a time crunch. October 26th, hey girly, little update. This ain't no little update. First, with Amy, the photographer, her price went from 1.4 to 1.3 for half the time, only $100 less, bro. With this knowledge, I'm putting her ass to work all 4 hours because, the photo booth people, giving her update on the photo booth people. If we want to get good photos for the panel to save some money, we can have my sister be a photographer because that's one of her hobbies. We can also have a content creator. Second, Jamad is not 100% sure yet, but her schedule is just chaotic, so we can hold her off on adding her name until we have that solidified, but we can make room for new panelists and put plus special guests. Because I think once we start talking about it, posting behind the scenes, it would build hype and make people want to be a part of it. Calls and meetings for this week. Basically updating her the things that I'm going to do. I'm going to get on a call with Toast Tours tomorrow. That's the drinks. Venue tour on Thursday. And of course, I'm going to get some behind the scenes content and B-roll. During venue tour, I will figure out the panel background situation. If we can have a vendor making food on the spot. If we get a hold of the mini pancake cart, in parentheses. Get an idea of the event flow. Launch prep. We need to pick the best ticket platform to sell on, branding, fonts, colors to keep things cohesive, create visuals for Instagram flyers and cards. Goal for this week is to lock in the venue. After the tour, we can sign the contract and put down payment. Lock in photographer or photo booth, sell tickets, let me know what you think, but I think it should go live on Friday. Plan out our content day. Now on your end, mind you, this is all the things that I'm balancing, all the things that I'm about to do this week. Catering isn't something we have to 100% solidify by the end of the week, but please put some pressure on it. That's it. That's it. Please put some pressure on it. Like, get the ball rolling. And that was a very polite way of me asking, like, please get to it. But I shouldn't have to ask a co-host to do the work. I shouldn't have to constantly chase them around and try to get them to fit this event into their schedule, especially if it's something that they care so much about or they put hundreds and hundreds of hours into, or something that they've always made time for even though they're so busy. Why am I chasing you around the city, asking you to take care of the one thing that I asked you to do? It's exhausting. And then again, she's just responding, Rian would eat. That $100 difference is crazy. Wait, I think it's smart. That's 100% a great option. On my end, I'm talking to Kim. Finally, she got a hold of the pancake cart girl and asking her questions on what she needs from the venue. I was like, oh my God, okay, yay, do they have an Instagram? And she was like, and I agree on everything else, just agreeing, okay? There's no, oh, what about this? I have this idea. Just agreeing. This whole time, just agreeing. And then she sent me the Sip and Slay event site. And she was like, I really like the way that they set this up too. Cause she's like, because they have become a vendor. Like, it would be nice to have a space for people to connect when they want to be a part of the event. And I was like, oh my God, cool. Like, we can build that on Shopify or something. But I was like, that would be cool to kind of create the world of She Evolves. And, you know, when people go on the site, they feel the energy of the event and things like that.
When it comes to the workload that she took on, she took that all on voluntarily. I already built an entire Notion website. She chose to build a Squarespace website.
It's really weird that she says, I just chose to make a Squarespace, constantly minimizing the amount of work that I do by saying things like she already had a relationship with the venue. She had a relationship with the vendors. She just chose to make a Squarespace. We never needed to because I made a Notion template. But you're also sending me Sip and Slay's website saying you like it. And I was like, okay, cool. We can definitely do that. Landing page through Shopify. And then she's like, oh, this is so exciting.
I already built an entire Notion website. She chose to build a Squarespace website.
So now I'm telling her, hello, happy Monday. I just got off the phone with Toast Tours. The moment I got off the phone with either my manager or one of the vendors, I would literally send her a voice note recap. So she's in the loop, constantly keeping her in the loop, sending inspo, sending her messages from the venues and just like letting her know. And then again, she's just responding. I agree. The photo booth is definitely a yes. I love this. It's over. Literally, she's just responding to everything that I had to say. And then she was like, oh my God, Behja, we're so lit. The pancake cart folded to the 1.2. I was like, period. That's how you do it. That's how you negotiate. We got the pancake cart locked in. She said that she put down the deposit for it. I was like, okay, perfect. We're lit. So I gave her, and this is why I'm saying that date was important. October 9th, I gave her the contact to Lunds and Byerly's. October 31st, she's finally now on the phone with Lunds and Byerly. That was a whole month. Damn near. And so she was like, I'm on the phone with them. They're not looking to collaborate though. So that's basically all the updates that she has. She got the pancake cart locked in and Lunds is looking like an L now. The other catering girl didn't work out. That's kind of where she's at. And I am now...
And the food that I was working on getting together. But when I put out options like Lunds and Byerly's, Whole Foods, those were immediately shut down. So I started reaching out to restaurants instead.
Back home from the venue tour, I send this girl a 11-minute long voice note. I love to yap, but I was tired and you can hear it in my voice in the voice note. But I just wanted to update her on everything while my mind was still fresh and I didn't want to forget anything. So I sent her an 11-minute long voice note, sent her all of the videos, sent her just to keep her in the loop. On Friday, I was basically like, Hallie, I'm gonna end it. When you recognize somebody's patterns, right? And I'm not saying anything about her work ethic. I just don't think this project was a priority for her. I don't think that this is something that meant how much it meant to me, I don't think it meant to her, which is okay and it's cool. So I'm not saying that she has a terrible work ethic. All I'm saying is when you recognize somebody's patterns and you see how long it takes them to do anything, and you see that they're too busy on everything else and they're not really pouring time and effort into something, you can't just sit around and wait for them. I wasn't just gonna sit around and wait for her to show up and pick up something. I needed to continue moving to keep momentum going, because if she's not keeping momentum going, basically this entire event doesn't even exist if it wasn't for me constantly picking things up and executing. So I sat down and I started working on the landing page. I started working on the website. It took me 4 hours to do just a couple sections on that first page. And it all deleted. But she was like, oh my goodness. And then she's responding to the event space now, just saying, oh my God, I just watched the videos. I could cry. It's so beautiful. And she's like, oh my God, guess what? I just met with my managers and they pitched us to Notion. It is Monday, November 3rd. And this is the first brand that I'm hearing that her manager has pitched us to. Mind you, at this point, I'm meeting with my managers every single week. They're pitching. I'm going to events. I'm putting in the work to actually in-person connections with these brands. I'm DMing, bro, just cold DMs, telling brands about the event, getting their emails, filling out forms, doing all these things. And finally, her manager pitched us to Notion. It's now November 4th, and we've only been in contact with Lunds and Byerly, and they told us we're not doing sponsorships. But in that time, We could have reached out to so many other restaurants, local businesses, mom and pop businesses, like women-owned businesses that would be more than happy to be a part of something like this. And I said multiple times, like, reach out to different places, reach out to a bunch of places. And she would just always be like, no, Lund's is fine. This is fine. Whole Foods is fine. So, and I was like, here's what we can do. We can send a bunch of emails to Minneapolis restaurants and say we would love to collab with them. I feel like they would be way more flexible.
And the food that I was working on getting together. But when I put out options like Lund's and Barley's, Whole Foods, those were immediately shut down. So I started reaching out to restaurants instead.
And then now it is November 7th. The reason why I just spent all this time sitting here scrolling through this entire thread is so that you guys can see the dynamic. It is November 7th. We sold out of tickets November 11th. So November 7th, I sent her the website that I've been working on. I sent it to her through like the preview link so that she can like see it as an outsider and let me know if it looks right. And so she was like, oh, this looks amazing. Your talent is insane. Allahumma barik. Listen to the rest of your voice notes, but I'm literally tearing up. This is amazing. And then again, I'm updating her on drinks. I'm updating her on my manager. I'm going to work on creating the workflow for the emails so that when people purchase tickets, like the emails that they get with more info of the venue, etc. And this is November 8th. Okay, so I am still basically working on this site, doing all this stuff. And all of this time, not one time did she ask for access. Not one time did she say, let me go fix something or let me go do this, let me go do that, okay? And the reason why I'm saying this is because she then went to the internet and started saying, I've never given her access. I've never allowed her to have anything. She's like, how could I help if you never gave me access? You never asked for it. I gave you access to the Stan store, the Instagram, everything else, and you never logged in. So what would be different now?
When in reality, we had three main disagreements, and that is access, accessibility, and collaborations. Access being number one, I did not get access to anything that she built until the day before like that Wednesday when we got into the argument. An entire week of building and she did not give me access. Mind you, I've asked multiple times for access. I am not given access. There was always some excuse.
It's November 8th now, and I'm like, but I know you said you have some time this weekend. She told me she had some free time this weekend. I said, I know you have some time this weekend, so let's really try to make some progress on catering. Maybe make a list of restaurants and we can both call them and get a bunch of different estimates. I'm like, just give me something to work with and I can help you. Already I'm doing the website. I'm carrying all the different vendors on my back, talking to the guy who's going to be doing the stage, talking to the guy who's going to do the mics and the speakers, talking to all the other vendors, the drinks. Just give me a list of things and I'll help you. Just do something. And then she responds to that and says, I honestly think we can just cater from Whole Foods, like 2 to 3 options, and then see once we post, there will be people in the comments who show interest. Instead of going and actually putting effort into finding a vendor, she wants the vendor to find us. Do something, put in the effort. I've been negotiating. I've been reaching out to brands. I've been pitching. I've been literally doing everything. Just reach out to catering. Since September till November 8th, I'm still asking her, please make progress on the catering. Now she's gonna tell me what to fix on the website. So she's like, can we make She Evolves cursive here? Basically telling me to italicize She Evolves. And then she's like, the whole vision eats. When someone fills out the collab portion, where does that message go? To my email? And then she's like, instead of contact us, can we do evolve with us? Sorry, I'm spamming you right now. Like, these are not contributions. And that is something that I want to make very clear. She tells me to change the color of the button. For the photo booth, add a little bit more. She's telling me what to change on the website. She went to the internet to tell them what she contributed. And she said that she helped me on the website by telling me to italicize She Evolves and change the color of the button. Now, I want to make it very clear how much effort it takes to build a freaking website from scratch. You have to make 2 separate websites, basically. You have to make the desktop one and the mobile version. I had to do the full brand build out. The colors, the fonts, the spacing styles. So every single color on that website, I had to hand pick out and type in every single color for every single font and do a bunch of different color packets. I don't know if you guys have ever built a website, but it takes so much time just to do that. Custom fonts, how I want them to sit, the colors, the photos, button design, line spacing, hover states, all of the photos. Spent hours on Pinterest because obviously we've never done an event before. So we want to get photos that align with the event. Hours on Pinterest, getting the correct size, the placing, all the links. I have to write out all the copy, all the text on there, the paragraphs, the descriptions, the panel speakers, the photos, the refund policy, the frequently asked questions. I had to build the ticket funnel. So set up the tickets, the terms and conditions. I had to connect it to my Stripe, figure out payments, customize checkout. And not only that for just the front page, but for every single page on the website. That took me a couple days to do. Not only that, but I had to buy the domain. I had to connect the domain. I had to connect an email. I had to authorize through Google. I had to verify sender identity. I had to create every single automated email individually. The colors on the email, the button style on the email, the photos on the email. There's so much work that goes into building a website from scratch. So telling me that your contributions are telling me to italicize She Evolves and changing a color of the button and calling that contribution is actually pathetic. I'm sorry.
What can I do? Plus, I already built a website. What can I do? What can I do to help? Genuinely. Even though I wasn't a part of building the website, I was literally helping her. I was messaging her. I was checking the website out. She gave me access through a password so that I could see it so nobody else could see it. But like, I wasn't logged in. I couldn't even make the edits. I was not getting the login information. And I wish I saw that as a bigger red flag. But again, I fully trusted this person. This is somebody that I've known for years.
That isn't even a scratch on the surface of what it looks like to build a site. So after she tells me to fix those things, she texts me. Also for Lathan, this is her co-founder that she mentioned one time. Also for Lathan, here are some of the topics that she can speak about, and I'll also share her photos later. Strategically designing a career rather than letting your career unfold naturally. For health and wellness, focusing on the impact of stress on your body. Mentorship. I told her multiple times. I basically explained to her why this wouldn't work. And now again, she's bringing up this Lathan person and saying that she thinks they would be perfect and here's what they can speak on. When she's never been somebody who we brought up, even back in September when I was telling her we have a full panel, she didn't once say, oh, what about Lathan? When we filled out the panel sheet, she didn't once say, what about Lathan? Let me type Lathan into this onto this doc. And then she goes, I think it would be super cool to get one more person, like somebody with crazy expertise on a topic like women's health, like a OBGYN, that'd be amazing, or a finance girl who can set the intentions on money flow for the year. Now, there's nothing wrong with these suggestions, okay? These are amazing topics. These are beautiful things that we can talk about. But again, like I said, it's only a 1 hour long panel. It doesn't make sense to jump from one topic to another, and to another. And I told her multiple times, put yourself in the shoes of the audience. Yes, these things are valuable. It's not that they're not valuable. It's not that these are things that we shouldn't talk about. However, it doesn't fit into this event. If we had a full day panel, or like a full day summit, this would be beautiful. Still no update on food. Still no update on the charity, but she has a new panelist and she has a new idea. And then she's told me finally that she was in contact with Alma and Spoon and Stable right now. And I know about Spoon and Stable. Spoon and Stable is going to run our pockets dry. Like, that's a very pricey place to eat. And I was like, but still reach out and see what they say. We got on FaceTime again. And basically on that FaceTime call, I was just giving her updates. And all of a sudden she was putting in some random Amazon order. Now, as I was on this call, I just let her have it because she was like, we should order the goodie bags. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense because we don't even know what we're going to be putting in the goodie bags yet. So we don't know what size we need. And she was like, oh my God, these are cute. Oh my God, these are cute. I'm adding them to the cart. What's your address? I'm going to send it to you. And I was like, I'm going to just let her have it. She sent over pens and little booklets. And I was like, we can probably make use of it somehow. So on November 9th, and these dates are very important, I sent her all of these emails that I created. So automated emails for when people are checking out and they actually buy a ticket. When somebody leaves their cart, like an abandoned cart, it sends them an email. When, the date gets closer, that's another automated email that goes out. And so I just created all of these automated emails. And so I'm sending her all of these things. And that same night, we were supposed to get on another call, but she just never responded to me. Basically kind of ghosted me a little bit. And then the next morning she texted me, she said, good morning. I had a little bit of a headache yesterday, so I had to take breaks from screens. Mind you, I am I'm typing out all these emails. Bro, like, do you think I'm like a super machine? I'm tired, okay? I have tough days. Literally, there was a day my dad got hit by a freaking bus. But yet I still show up because not only do we have a date that is coming up and creeping up on us really fast, but also we're already planning a whole event in such a small amount of time. To constantly have an excuse of I can't do this because I'm on my period. And I'm all for women taking care of themselves and slowing down and things like that, but I can't keep picking up your slack. Like, at least on the days where you're free, like how she said she was free on that weekend, at least take some time to email the brands. Why are we not emailing the restaurant? And that's why we still don't have food. That's why we still don't have catering, but we have a venue, we have a drinks person, we have a photographer, we have a photo booth, it's actually so frustrating. And all she does is respond, oh my God, I love, 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 amazing, obsessed, November 10th. At this point, we're supposed to launch so long ago. And so I'm telling her the website is ready. The tickets are ready. What are we waiting for? At least let's soft launch to our communities today. I can write up a newsletter. I can send a newsletter. I said I could also finish up the graphics we can post on IG as well. I'll also talk to Sandy today so that I can give her a graphic. Sandy's one of the panelists. So maybe let's work on content today and then launch tomorrow. She's not responding. And so I'm like, or we can soft launch today to our communities, kind of like a teaser. We can post about it on our stories, mention it to the audience to build that curiosity, early traction, then do a full launch tomorrow once the content and the graphics are finalized. That way we can build some anticipation before the big drop. And then it is Monday, November 10th, once again. I'm asking her, also, what are we going to do about the charity?
I found a lovely foundation. I sent it to her. I found another one. I sent it to her. I thought we confirmed on a foundation. Apparently, I didn't find a foundation. I beg to differ, and so do your text messages. So
I'm like, Hallie, I'm crying, bro. I'm going to launch today. Like, I'm itching to launch. There was something in me. Like, I was like, I'm so tired of waiting. Everything is ready. Let's launch today. My videos are already ready. I'm like, let me just post this video. I'm itching. I'm tired of waiting on you. She's not responding. So I was like, I'm going to post today. And there's nothing that you can do to stop me. And so November 10th is the day that I posted a video on my TikTok. It was supposed to be a soft launch video. So I texted her. I was like, I'm going to post. I posted the soft launch video. This video takes off. I'm talking takes off. Tickets are flying off of the shelf. Basically, it was just a get ready with me where I was saying, I'm so excited about this, sharing the vision, talking about what we're going to do. So I texted her and I was like, I posted it. We need momentum. Like, we need momentum bad. And so she texts me hours later. So I'm texting her at 1:30. She texts me back at 4:49. She's like, okay, perfect. Did you do it? And then she's like, I'm sending it to my newsletter people. Oh my God, it's so good. Basically talking about my video. It's crazy. The video is blowing up. People are tagging us. Brands are reaching out. My inbox is flooded at this point. My personal email, the She Evolves email, everything is just kind of blowing up. I was so overwhelmed. Obviously, it was the best kind of overwhelmed, but I was overwhelmed. Not only was I tired from all the work that I put in these past couple of days, but I felt bombarded because I thought we were going to be making content till the end of the month. I thought we were going to be promoting till the end of the month. I sent her another voice note and I was like, oh my goodness, like, I'm so excited. Like, this is crazy. In this voice note, I basically am updating her on everything. And I also tell her that I had to make an email. So when I set up those automated emails the night before the day that we launched, I had to connect an email to it and it would have showed up as my personal email. So the sender would have been my personal email. So I was like, and so basically I was telling her I'm going to give her access. I'm telling her I'm going to give her access. Okay. She still has not once asked for access. And I'm like, I'm going to give you access. I will share with you the, login information for Squarespace.
could you please give me access? Yeah, I'm driving right now. Let me get back to you. Something. Always an excuse. So if I don't have access to this, you're refusing to give me access to it. What can I do?
And then I was like, but yeah, let me know if you got to filming your content today. Just give me updates. I'm already selling tickets, taking care of everything, asking her, please just update me. Let me know if you made your content today. Yeah, so she doesn't respond that night. She responds the next day. She said, good morning. I'm going to record today. For florals, I kind of put something together in Notion because I was telling her I was going to meet with the florist on Friday. Again, keeping up with all the vendors per usual. She's like, I put together a little something on the Notion. Again, she brings up Lathan. She's like, and getting a photo from Lathan, I'll send send it to you when she sends it for the website. But I think for her, it just makes sense to focus on career development. So we'll need some questions for that. This is the third time that she's bringing up Ladan. Now tickets are already selling and she's bringing up Ladan. Mind you, panel is full. The last spot is meant for one of the Lerman twins or Jamaat, whoever locks in first. So I was like, good morning. And she was asking for the Instagram login. And I was like, the Instagram login is literally in the chat, but I sent it again. And basically I just gave her updates on goodie bags, gave her updates on things. And then she's like, good morning. Oh no, I'm not stressing. Don't worry. That day she was posting on her close friends saying that she's having the worst day ever. She fell off the treadmill. Her matcha exploded. Her bowl broke. Just having a really stressful day. So I basically texted her. I was like, I saw your story too. So I'm sorry that you're feeling a little bit stressed about things and I don't want to add any more. I'm glad you're filming today. Probably going to film another video today too and like make a post. So I was already planning to post my next video and I was like, I just hope you're good. She's like, good morning. Oh no, I'm not stressed by this. Don't worry. Just the timing of everything is kind of crazy. Did talk about Ladan again, I believe. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to play the portion of the voice note where I was talking about Ladan and why I don't think that she's a good fit for this panel once again.
Yeah, I think one thing we need to do is go to, I want to ask you, because first of all, I don't want to feel like I'm making all the decisions and I'm being an asshole. But I know we talked about this on the call too. I just feel like having career and like talking about that, I feel like would be so beneficial and so helpful, especially for the girls. And I'm not saying that like Ladan wouldn't be valuable. I think she would be amazing. However, I just keep thinking about like the flow of the panel and the fact that it's only 60 minutes. It's actually, you know what I'm saying? Like it's only 60 minutes. And I really just think about time and like the flow of the event because the event isn't that long. And I know it's like, oh, we have 4 hours, but it's also like time goes by really fast. People stumble in late. Like I never want it, like I want the panel to just be that like hour long and then 10 minutes of that to be like a Q&A moment. As for Ladan, I just feel like career wouldn't really fit. I mean, it fits, but like I feel like it would be kind of like jumping from one thing to another, to one thing to another. The flow of the event is really about becoming an evolution and self-discovery and things like that. I just feel like it would be kind of awkward to have one person talking about just like one specific topic. And I know career is something that you can probably dabble into, but I just feel like it wouldn't make sense and it could be a little bit confusing with the audience. Inshallah, like if we're able to pull, which we're already proving that we can pull this off. If we're able to do another event, it could be so much bigger. Like inshallah, it could be more of like a summit type of thing, and we can have like a whole panel of like, you know, professionals, and we can do like a career panel, and we can do like a self-love panel. You know what I mean? So I just feel like it just doesn't make sense. And I don't want to be an asshole to be like, oh, we don't want to have Ladan on the podcast. Like, I'm just thinking about like the logistics and the flow of it. So please let me know what you think and we can go from there. Yeah, I just don't see how it would fit into an event like this. And I feel like it would just feel a little bit out of place and a little bit forced in a way. But yeah, please let me know what you think. I don't want to be an asshole. I don't want to sound like an asshole. And I don't want to be the one making all the decisions. I think we just have to like take into consideration like the flow of the event, the time we have, putting yourself in the shoes of the person experiencing this. You know, it would be nice to just have like these 60 minutes where you sit down, and we kind of want it to feel like a girl's talk. I think that's the description that I used in the panel sheet, but like we wanted to just feel like, you know, girls sitting in a living room just talking about life and growth and evolution and becoming, which is kind of the whole point and the whole flow. And it is such a short event, but you let me know.
So in that voice note, not only did I express my concerns in a way that was respectful, I said that Ladan would be beneficial. I did say that career is something important to talk about, something that Hallie could dabble in as well, because that's what she's built her entire platform around. I never once said that that wasn't valuable. I never once said that that was a dumb idea. I'm just like, please let me know what you think. I want to hear from you. I want to hear how you think this would fit into the flow. I want to like have a conversation about this and think about the logistics.
My co-founder, who is an incredible woman and has taught me so much about career. And I thought that she could touch on career when it comes to mid and senior level professionals, how to grow, how to go get your PhD, your MBA, because she's done all those things, while I could touch on the younger audience. This to her was a problem, and she said, I just don't really think she's a fit.
So I sent that voice note, and like I said in the voice note, we did talk about this on our call. This is the second time we're having this chat, and I'm telling her this. November 11th, I'm telling her people are coming from Texas, my girls are coming from Canada, we're lit. This day is the day that she posted her video. So a full day later, she posted her video. At this point, she said, I've sent my newsletter to the subscribers yesterday, and then I'm gonna post today, we're lit. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I send her the graphic that we used to put on Instagram, because again, she's not taking responsibility for anything. She's not really putting in any effort to do anything. So I gotta pick it up. I sent her this and I was like, do you like this for the IG? And she's like, obsessed, love, love, love. I even sent her the caption to approve. The caption for the post I sent to her, and I'm like, let me know what you think. And then from there, we can continue posting like activities and the panel and things like that. Love, love, love. Yes, and perfect, my video is up. So she posted her video the next day at 10 in the morning. So she has finally posted her post. Not only did my video already have 10,000 likes, and this matters in the story. The reason why I'm mentioning that is not to say, oh my God, like my video was doing numbers. Not only is it doing really well, but we already sold 40% of the tickets. Again, she's saying, bro, you won't even believe the day I'm having. This is the only thing that's keeping me from shooting myself. Again, she's having a really hard day. Monday, she had a headache. Today, she's having a terrible day. At this point, it is November 11th, the day that she posted her video at 2:16 p.m. And I was like, I think we need to get rid of the bestie bundle. I'm gonna go to a coffee shop and remove it. She was like, wait, why? I said, I think we hit the 200 mark of ticket sales. So the reason why, and I was like, I'm gonna go to a coffee shop. I was basically picking up my car. I had a rental, so I was going to pick up my car. And she was like, wait, why? I was like, I think we hit the 200 mark. I don't know, I need to check. I literally have anxiety going over the 270 mark. Because if we go over the 270 mark, we have nowhere to place people. And so she's like, goodness gracious. And then she said, can you help with the Instagram login? So she's finally trying to log into the Instagram that she had access to since September. And then what is the website login info? I told her that morning I was gonna give her the website login info. And so I was like, give me 20 minutes because I was in the car driving to the coffee shop. That matters too, because she then went to social media and said that I wasn't giving her access and I always had an excuse. The one time I said, give me 20 minutes, I've always had an excuse.
We're on the phone. Could you please give me access? Yeah, I'm driving right now. Let me get back to you. Something. Always an excuse.
I was holding back access, and she kind of used access to paint me as the villain, which is crazy because I just made this website. I built an entire website in 4 days. People pay people to build a website, thousands of dollars. I sat down for literally 4 days, crunch time, and I put it together. So to sit here and act like, oh, I just wasn't giving her access and she would have been such help, you still don't have food or a charity. Anyway, so she was like, can you help with the login? Also, the restaurant responded, okay? This restaurant responded. They want to take the convo to email. So I think that she like DM'd them and they just gave her the email. And so I was like, give me 20 minutes. Mind you, I'm driving. I can't sit and figure out how to give you authorization for Instagram. And so I texted her back when I got to the coffee shop. I told her I was going to respond in 20 minutes. Mind you, this whole time. And it's so crazy that you use that against me to paint me as the villain, because this whole time I'm responding immediately. This whole time I am picking up calls regardless of what I'm doing. This whole time, it doesn't matter if I'm on a brand trip or I'm out at an event or I'm getting ready for an event, I'm willing to get on a call. I'm willing to respond to her. So the one time I tell her, give me 20 minutes, all of a sudden she always had excuses. She just didn't want me to have access for some reason. I text her and I'm like, we are at 239. I'm going to remove the bestie bundle, wrap it up. Hallie, I'm overstimulated. I cannot think. I was so overstimulated and so overwhelmed in that moment. My brain froze. So the one time that I can't function and I can't show up and I can't be the one who figures everything out, you can't show me grace. Because she did use that against me. And she was like, yeah, she was just saying like, she always had an excuse. She just didn't want to give me access. What are you going to do on the website right now anyway? It's already fully built. It's already fully done. Like, what were you gonna do now? And I was like, we sold out. And I was so excited, but I was mentally frozen. So she's like, alhamdulillah, wait, what the heck? I can't process. I was like, I am mentally frozen. We need to talk about logistics tomorrow. We need to lock in tomorrow. I can't function right now. She's like, bye. I'm literally DMing people. People are already DMing me saying they didn't get the chance to buy a ticket. And I'm like, yeah, my DMs are like blowing up. I was overwhelmed. I felt bombarded because I really thought we had until the end of the month to continue continue pumping out content. I was planning to film content all week, so the fact that it sold out really caught me off guard. She texts me a screenshot. Mind you, at this point, tickets are sold out. She texted me a screenshot from this girl named Zuhaila. She said, "Hi, Hallie. I just wanted to ask you, is there going to be an ASL interpreter at the event you and Behja are hosting? My sister, who is deaf, would love to attend, but can't if there isn't any. Thank you." So I was like, oh my God, my heart. She just said sad eyes. And she was like, I'm going to see if they bought tickets. If not, if they did, like if they got tickets before it sold out, it's fire or by force. We're planning on talking tomorrow, and I say I can't take it. And then she texts me back a couple hours later and she sends me this paragraph. When I saw this paragraph, it did trigger me. Like, I can't lie. It did trigger me because I feel like I felt like I was being blamed. And it's not even just like, oh, I felt that way, but it's the language that she used, basically saying, if I had access, we would have caught this. We can't promise that. We don't know that. We don't know that if you had access, you would have caught it. I didn't see the email because, like I told her, emails were blowing up, DMs were blowing up. I was overstimulated. Not only that, the only computer that I was logged in when it comes to that email was my iMac that sits in my room. So like, I don't even have access to it when I was outside. I totally understand how busy things have been, but this is an accessibility issue and something we should have caught and responded to sooner. I've been trying to get access. She asked for access a couple hours ago for the first time. I've been trying to get access so I could help with these kind of things and just have access in general, but haven't gotten any login information from you. When she asked for access, mind you, I told her in the morning I would send her access. We were already selling out. When she asked for access, not only was I in my car, but by the time I got to the coffee shop, we were sold out. So regardless of what, she wouldn't have caught it. Maybe she would, maybe she wouldn't, but that's not something that is like guaranteed. And so to come here and say, I've been trying to get access, if I were to have access, we would have caught this. Not only can we not promise that, but that is literally blaming me. And it might be put in a respectful and a polite way with perfect grammar, but essentially that's what it is. She said, I've been trying to get access so I could help with these kind of things and just have access in general, but I haven't gotten any login information from you, which makes it harder for me to help manage these kind of messages in real time. You weren't even responding to my text messages in real time. What makes you so sure that if you had access, you would have caught this one specific email?
Excuse my sick voice, but I'm editing this while I'm sick. But something else that I wanted to point out is the girl reached out to Hallie at 4:04 p.m. Hallie took this screenshot at 5:30. So she responded to her sometime after 5:30. When I texted Hallie saying the tickets were sold out, it was 5:15 p.m. So just like how I apparently didn't see the email on time, Hallie also did not respond to the girl on time. So it's so unfair for her to send me this message saying, if I were to have access, we could have caught this. If you gave me access, I would have. You didn't even catch the DM on time yourself. You didn't get back to the girl on time yourself. So it's unfair to expect me to get back quickly or to say that if you were to give me access, I would have caught this. You're not catching things in real time. You're not responding in real time. So you can't say that and you can't promise that.
The wording is weird. Could you add me or share access so I can help with communication going forward? I think it's really important we make accessibility a part of the planning from the start, like hiring interpreters, adding accommodations, info on the site, etc. Now, I agree. Accessibility is something that is extremely important. However, it's not something that we thought of. And moving forward, yes, we can think of it. Yes, moving forward, it is something that we should definitely think about. So to go on social media and imply that I'm an ableist, we'll get to that, which she did. She went on the internet and she implied that I don't care about accessibility and that she was putting her foot down and saying, we have to do something right now. She was like,
that was a problem for her. And that is something that she mentioned, but did not mention the context around. She tried to make it a thing where it's like accessibility next time. We got them next time. And I was like, there is no next time. This needs to be made happen. I don't care what we need to do in order to do that. Also, forget morally, but like legally, like you can't not have accessibility. Like it's messed up in so many levels. And that to me was the first red flag, because that just spoke volumes of somebody's character to me personally.
But literally in your text, you said it should be a part of our planning from the start next time, because at this point we're both under the impression that we sold out. But it wasn't a case where she was the hero and she was like, oh, accessibility matters so much, we need to do something now, and I was sitting here like, no, we can take care of that next time. That just wasn't the case. So it's crazy to lie about something like that. It's crazy to imply that somebody is an ableist, because that is something that is very serious. And to have her co-founder in the comments being really loud and calling me an ableist, that is insane. Now let me tell you guys how I handled the situation, and I was triggered. I'm gonna be honest, I was triggered. In fact, I screenshotted it and I sent to my sisters, and I'll show you guys what I said. I respect her privacy and I would never post our private conversation on the internet, but the reason why I'm sharing this is because it's really important for you guys to understand what I was thinking and feeling in the moment. Maybe this is triggering me because I feel so overwhelmed with everything, but it's unfair that she's blaming me when she literally doesn't respond to my text messages, never asked for access. In fact, I told her this morning that I would give her access, and I just didn't expect this to all happen so fast. Both the She Evolves email and my personal are flooded, my DMs are flooded, and it's all just so overwhelming. I was planning to film promo content all throughout the week, so it really caught me off guard and low-key gave me a bit of anxiety, and I'm just exhausted from all the work that went into this all. But I won't let it get to me. Maybe I just need a little cry. The reason why I'm sharing this is because it did trigger me in that moment. And it was because the language that she was using was basically pinning this on me. And I'm literally expressing to her that I've been overwhelmed, that I'm, mentally frozen, that I don't even have the capacity to have a conversation right now. And I didn't think access was something that she needed today, because access was something she could have asked for when I was building the website. Access was something that she could have asked for when she was sending me things to change. Tonight until tomorrow, because we're going to talk about it tomorrow, I was going to give her access the next day. And tonight and tomorrow, there's nothing that you can do. There's nothing that she could have done to add to the site at that moment. I did reflect on it, right? Before I just reacted and said, oh, why are you jumping at me? And why are you know what I'm saying? Why are you blaming me? I did reflect on it. I did say, maybe I'm triggered because I'm just tired. I did follow up with a voice note.
I decided I was gonna just like let it go and let it be what it was. I'm gonna send you a screenshot of what I texted her. I think what's really weird to me is like she hasn't contributed very much, and it's not, and I don't want to say that because I'm not one to like sit and count, oh, this is what I did and this is what you did and this is what I did, because it's not like I feel any type of way about putting in the work that I did, because I would just normally do that for anything that I'm working on. She didn't seem like this was a priority for her. The reason I'm giving her benefit of the doubt is because she had a hard day. So I'm like, it is what it is. The wording was a little bit harsh, but it really, really, really is what it is. But I think it is a little bit unfair to kind of just like blame it on me. I'm going to let it go and I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Basically, I still chose to show her grace. That message was a little bit weird to me, not even because of the way that she worded things, but also we don't talk like that. That's not how she normally texts. So the energy definitely did shift a little bit, but I still showed her grace and I responded, hey, this makes me really sad. Definitely something that we need to think about next time around. Just not something I expected at all. I also didn't expect to sell out so quickly, which is a big reason why I felt so overwhelmed today. I'm still figuring it out, even with the email. I don't know how to access it from any device other than my iMac, which was the truth. I didn't even know how to give her access. I didn't even know how to give myself access to that on any other device. And I said, I did give you access to the Instagram. At least it should have logged you in because I gave you access. Like, I accepted the pop-up on my end. There's also just so many emails, even just on my personal. I'll text you tomorrow, inshallah, and we'll figure out how to move forward. But I genuinely didn't expect any of this at all. You live and you learn, I guess. Also, the Amazon package came in. We definitely need to get on a call ASAP and discuss next steps. And I'll figure out how to give you access to both Squarespace and the email tomorrow. It's not a one-person job. And then she goes, I totally get it, and I'm not blaming you at all, by the way. I just feel like I was in the dark. I didn't have access, so I couldn't help. But you also weren't responding to me all day. I know things are moving so fast and it feels a lot to manage at once. Selling out that quickly was amazing, but definitely showed us that the systems we need to place for next time. Exactly, for next time. So to sit here and say that you were putting your foot down and saying, no, we need to do something about this now. And I was the one saying next time. That's crazy and that's a lie. That's not what happened. In that time, I could not go to sleep. Like, something was just stuck on me. I was like, I need to go recount. I counted wrong. And we still had, I think, about like 70 or something tickets left to sell, or like something around that. I don't really remember. It doubled some people, especially people who were like paying with Apple Pay. So I was like, I have good news. For some reason, Squarespace tweaked and all the CSV records show that 270 on the spot, but I double counted some people. So we still have some tickets left. I'm going to recount tomorrow. And she was like, oh my God, wait, this is amazing because people are harassing me at this point. And I was like, yeah, but we can launch second batch and go about it better. And she was like, can we just put 2 tickets aside for those girls? I feel terrible. I can cover the ASL interpreter cost. And I was like, absolutely. So basically we see that there's so much demand for the tickets. I'm sending her like screenshots of like DMs and things like that. And she's like, wait, would it be crazy to increase ticket prices? She's like, tell me if it is. I don't want to be greedy, but like the demand is stupid and I studied economics. But yeah, I was like, LMAO, low key, it would help with production, but people would hate us. I'm not thinking about my pockets. I'm thinking about if we were to increase prices or if we had higher prices in general, it could help with production. Like it could help with just like making things better. And I was like, but people would probably hate us because I'm thinking like, it doesn't make sense to put out more tickets and then just increase the prices when they've already witnessed people get theirs for $65. She basically said no, because more tickets equal more costs. So a price going up isn't crazy genuinely. So basically she was trying to spin this narrative that we're just adding more spots, and so that's gonna cost us more, and that it wouldn't be crazy to put up prices. And so I was like, how much higher are you thinking? I don't want to make it too much to the point where it's unfair. And so she was like, literally like $10, nothing crazy. And the reason why this is really important is because I basically said that one of the disagreements that me and her had was the fact that she wanted to increase prices, and it was a disagreement. We talked about it more on the call the next day, and it just didn't feel aligned and it felt weird. But the next day we got on a call, and on that call, I was basically telling her, like, I don't think it's a good idea. In fact, my mom was here in the morning and I was like, she wants to increase ticket prices. And my mom was like, absolutely not. That's not a good idea. And I was like, that's literally what I was thinking, and that's what I'm going to be telling her on the call today. On the call, I was saying that it was my fault, so it doesn't make sense to increase prices on them. And she was basically saying, like, they will never know. Like, how would they know? This just blows my mind because I literally sat there and had to tell her, but there are people in my comments or in my DM saying that they're waiting for their paycheck. And I'm like, people are spending their hard-earned money on this. It's unfair for us to raise prices when we were the problem. Like, when this was an internal issue and a little oopsies and an accident that I made. And she was like, oh, you're right. God sees us. That's not weird at all. And so to go and spin this narrative of like, oh, but she wanted to increase prices to 100 in the beginning and I had to negotiate down to 65 and I'm some hero and I'm morally right. That's crazy because that's not true either.
Speaking of money, the last thing that she said about me that is also completely false, like everything she's written on there, is the fact that I suggested $75 and to increase the ticket prices. I said to increase the ticket prices because she presented an extremely high ticket price from the beginning that I negotiated down to 65.
Again, forgive me for my sick voice. This is the She Evolves doc that I made. So this doc was made on September 19th at 3:43 when I was at the coffee shop, and I sent that photo of me creating this doc to Hallie. As you can see, I filled out this entire doc. On September 19th, I also wrote down ticket prices, and this was just ideas that I was going to share with her on the call on the 21st. On this doc, I put ticket prices, GA $65, general admission. And then I came up with the idea of doing VIP tickets as well. And I said VIP tickets should be $90 to $120. Just a suggestion, just an idea. So to sit here and say that you had to negotiate.
When we were on our second call, she brought up the fact that we need good pricing. And I said, well, yes, good pricing to me means a good deal. And I don't know that the prices that she brought up, which were almost $100, were good deals to me personally. I personally would not have paid that. There's 18-year-olds saving up money in order to come to this event. So I said no, and we brought it down to 65. That was us negotiating and finding a middle ground, by the way.
I've never seen lies like this. I've never seen lies like this, especially when it's documented. I put down 65, and it wasn't even my idea. It was my mom's idea. I was thinking we could do VIP, and I made that $90 to $120. However, ticket prices was always going to be 65. Now, on the 21st, we got on a call, but as you can see, I wrote down bestie bundle and in parentheses idea because I had this idea to do the bestie bundle where it's $120 for 2 tickets where you save $5 each. I came up with the prices. I wrote down the prices. And then on the 21st, Hallie and I got on a call. And as you can see some of her edits. We decided to get rid of VIP because I thought it's our first event. Let's just focus on having an amazing one with just general admission.
Even now, when it is $65, one little word project bracelet to make is $35. There's goodie bags that have products up to probably like $100. The value of the event is worth the price. And guess who's paying for the Little Word Project bracelets? Me. I even wanted to pay out of pocket for the tooth gems. So it was never a situation where I'm like, oh, I want to make money, because I know I'm not making money off of this. And that's completely okay. To feed into this narrative that people are already spinning online saying I'm a scammer and I'm a fraud, and to even go online and tell people to dispute charges because I don't know what Badge is going to do with the money. Disgusting.
If you purchased a ticket, I genuinely can't say like I can give you a refund. I have no access to the funds. Anything that you purchased, anything with that event, any profit made is closed off to me. So I would recommend reaching out to the event coordinator. Since that's no longer my event, like I would recommend, doing that and like reaching out to them in order to get your refund, because I mean, if you're no longer interested in going, you deserve to be able to get that refund, and I believe you can. So I would shoot them a message or dispute your charge, whatever's up to you.
So I just want to clear that up. I did say it was unfair, and she did say God can see us. So you were trying to be unfair and you were only worried about yourself. You didn't even think about the audience once. Now, when it comes to the accessibility thing, we did get on a call the next day, and she did mention how accessibility is something that she cares a lot about. And I was like, I completely understand where you're coming from, and it is something that we need to think about. It is something that we should have thought about. Neither of us thought about it. And we weren't going to be the first event who didn't have an ASL interpreter, but now we have the opportunity to do so, and we can do that. Not only that, but on the call, I did tell her I took ASL in high school and I can hold the conversation, but I need to brush up on it so I can have a conversation with this girl. So to sit here and say I never cared about accessibility and to paint me as an ableist and to have your co-founder in the comments calling me an ableist, do you know how damaging that is to somebody's reputation, business, character, name? Not only that, but the night before, and I will put a screenshot here, I did text my best friend about it, and she was telling me how her cousin knows ASL, and I asked if she can interpret, and she said she's just not comfortable or confident doing that in front of people. So yes, I was looking for solutions. I never had a problem with accessibility. Also, she also said, make a note for creators we want to invite, should they pay? I'm thinking no. Now, this is important too, because she did turn around and say, oh, you had a problem with me giving away 3 tickets, but you were okay giving away tickets to influencers, but you were okay with it too. Like, why are you now turning around and making it seem like I'm this terrible person who doesn't care about accessibility? Like, literally, she's just using that situation to continue spinning this narrative. The reason why I really wanted influencers here, a lot of them, which I did list, are smaller creators, smaller influencers, to give them opportunities to go to events, because here in Minneapolis, we don't have any events. So there's nothing wrong with having influencers there. She didn't have a problem with it. So to go and spin it and now have a problem with it and say, oh, but you were willing to give away 10 free tickets to influencers, but you didn't want to give away 3 tickets for accessibility, which again was never true, and we'll get there. But I just wanted to point that out real quick, because she is really just like using receipts, right, to spin a narrative that's not true. Because you didn't seem to have a problem with 10 influencers here either. I texted her the next morning, good morning, are you able to meet? She's like, rise and shine, yes ma'am. We got on the call and I basically helped her log in, and then I gave her the login for the Gmail as well, once I figured it out. We were on a call, and then she was basically telling me that she had to go somewhere and she was going to be back later and we could film together. And she said, I'll be back by 1. From that time that we got on the call at like 9 to 1 o'clock, I was sitting in the same position, that spot right there behind me, pitching and pitching and pitching and pitching to brands. I didn't even get up to eat breakfast. Like, I was working so hard on pitching for this event. Now it's 2 o'clock and I'm texting her, hey girl, let me know when you're gonna be back. I'm gonna start getting ready now so we can film at 3, because I didn't hear from her. If you can write a script, please. I don't have the capacity to write a script. I'm tired. Please at least do that one thing and write the script. I lost track of time pitching to brands and following up. No, my camera died. The camera quality changed because my other camera died, but we need to stay locked in. Yeah, we got on this call, so I'm waiting for her to call me back, and I'm like, please just work on the script, because I can't do it, bro. I can't take care of everything. And she was like, hi, yes, I have something going on, or I have something going on already for the script. I'm finishing up with a meeting though. We had an emergency post with a client, so I can be free in like an hour probably. Sorry for the push time. I was like, no, it's perfect. Don't worry about it. We got on a call, and basically we were going to film this FaceTime style.
Hey.
Allie, you're gonna freak out. Like, it was just kind of like this cute little skit. And so we filmed the video. It took us about like probably like 10 minutes to do, honestly. It was really quick. And I was like, okay, well, do you want to edit it? And she's like, yeah, when do you think we should post it? Should we post it tomorrow? Mind you, tomorrow, 11 a.m., tickets are going live. This is a video telling people that tomorrow at 11 a.m., the tickets are going to go live. So it really doesn't make sense to post it tomorrow. And so I was like, no, it doesn't make sense. Like, it has to go live tonight. She's like, but I have this thing. I have this meeting. And I was like, just send me the footage. Like, just send me the footage. I'm going to edit it. So at this point, it was 3 o'clock. Yeah, it was 3 o'clock when we got off that call, like 3 something. She sent me the footage. I sat down on the couch. Wallahi, Allah is my witness. I didn't get up once to breathe, bro. I didn't get up once to drink water. I didn't get up one time. I sat and I locked in on editing that video and I sent it back to her. 4:55. So from 3 to 4:55. I was editing this video. The FaceTime call, the ringing, the buttons, the sound effects, the overlays, putting my video and her video together. It was a very hard video to edit. It was like, it comes easy to me because I'm used to editing, but it takes time. So I edit it and then I send it to her. And what does she do? She goes ahead and she sends me photos of Ladan for the website. Mind you, I've had this conversation with her 3 times. She's like, got pictures from one of the speakers. Ladan Molid is her full name. And then she's like, are you friends with Aisha Harun? You can ask her about something. And she was like, oh my goodness, I love this video.
Oh my God, this is so good. I'm watching this shit cheesing and the little intro. Oh, and the exit, the hang up, bloop. Fire. When do we want to post? And do you want to collaborate on with Shiva?
So yeah, I made a good freaking video because I put time and effort into everything that I do. Y'all can go look at the quality. I don't even have to prove myself to anybody. Like, it shows in my work, my long form content, my short form content, my website, like everything that I do, I put intention into it. I don't just throw things together. And so I'm like, LMAO, it took me so long. I'm going to post it now on the She Evolves page and then collaborate with both of us. So I go ahead and I post it. And then she was like, before we drop, this is right? Basically, I gave her the email this morning. It's 5 o'clock and now she's logging into the email. The same email that she claims I was holding back from her. And because I never gave her access, she was never able to do anything. She didn't even have the urgency to log in right away. So for her to claim before, oh, I could have caught this, you're not even logged in. Anyway, so I was like, yes, that's right. She's like, okay, I logged in. Wait, I can't find anything about the deaf girl. Kind of confused. And she's like, also, I DM'd them. They're so happy, but I asked if they can bring their mom. They asked if they could bring their mom. I just said yes, but they're bringing their own interpreter. So just -3 tickets instead of 2. Sorry. And I was like, wait, how old are they? Because I was thinking maybe they're minors, which is why they're bringing their mom, because it's an 18+ event. And so she's like 18 and 20. And she's like, but they were trying to pay for the mom. And I said, it's fine because now they're bringing an interpreter. And I was like, wait, I'm confused because I thought the whole situation was they needed an interpreter. Like, they were asking about one. And so I was like, wait, what? I'm confused. And then I sent a voice note saying, so they're bringing their own interpreter. Why were they asking for it yesterday? Like, I'm genuinely confused, and send me a voice note, like, explaining, because I really just wanted to get an understanding about it. And she said, I asked if they knew somebody or a service. And this is me responding to the Ladan situation once again.
And Hallie, girl, I don't know if you didn't listen to my voice note. I don't know what, but like, I don't think that Ladan is a good fit for the panel, genuinely. And I don't know if you listened to the voice note where I was talking about it, but I was just saying it's such a short amount of time and it's such a small panel. And although Ladan's knowledge would be valuable, I feel like it's just not the right panel for it, because we can't jump from, one topic to another. And I'm sure like you can pitch in when it comes to like career stuff, but like if it's me and Sandy, like that's not something that we can really like talk about. So it's going to be kind of like a weird division between panelists. So bro, I can't even talk, bro. I'm so tired. Like I'm actually enough that so, but yeah, it's just, I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to fit. And I said that a couple times. I don't know if you listened to me.
Again, explaining why I don't think Ladan is a good fit. Y'all, I'm tired at this point. I was sitting on that couch. I didn't eat all day. I didn't eat breakfast before we called. And then, because I was sitting and I was pitching. And then we filmed together. And then I had to sit and edit it. Now it's 5 o'clock p.m. and I still haven't eaten anything. I'm not kidding. Wallahi, Allah is my witness. And now I have to explain why I don't think Ladan is a good fit for the millionth time, even though I've said it so many times. And then she sends me this voice note, and just please listen to it.
I responded saying, like, you guys have 2 free tickets. Like, we have some space, whatever. We're able to talk to the space and get extra tickets. And then I asked them, I was like, okay, I'm not really familiar with the area. Like, what service can I reach out to find an interpreter? Like, what do you guys normally do? And they said that they can ask, because they know people that have previously interpreted for her at doctor's offices and stuff like that. So they're going to try and see if they can find someone. If not, I don't really care. I can cover the cost of their interpreter. But then they were like, oh, is it possible for us to bring our mom? I was like, yeah, of course. And they were like, okay. Like, it still says sold out. And I was like, okay, whatever, don't worry. Like, 3 tickets, that's fine. And then they said thank you and blah, blah, blah. And that's how it ended. It just didn't make sense to be like, oh, yeah, sure, your mom can come, but we're dropping tomorrow at 11. And once those tickets drop, go right away and purchase a ticket.
Okay. First of all, that's how we normally talk. That's one thing that I really want to push out there. Tone, just kind of talking, you know? That's just the way that we communicated. Nothing was ever like very professional. Nothing was very ever like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how we communicate. I was tired, and you can hear it in my voice. I'm tired, and I'm telling her I'm tired. And she's over here chewing her chips, talking about I just gave them free tickets. Like, and I was genuinely confused, which is why I was like, can you like explain to me what you mean? Because I was like, oh, are we giving them like free tickets, or like what's happening? So she's saying that they are going to bring their own interpreter, that they have their own interpreter, and then now that they're looking for their own interpreter. And do I think she was going to cover the costs of the interpreter? Yes. I'm not saying that she doesn't care about accessibility the way that she went and told everybody I didn't care about accessibility. Like, I'm sure she genuinely cared and she wanted to find a solution. I was just confused as to what she was talking about. And that voice note kind of helped. I was like, okay, I guess we're giving them free tickets, which I don't mind. I never sat here and said, no, we're not giving away free tickets. We're not doing that. So to go online and say, I said we can't give away free tickets is crazy. I would never say no to free tickets. This is where things just take a turn. This is where things get a little sticky. This is where things get a little weird. When I sent that voice note, her reaction to it was, wait, what? I have a meeting, but I'll get back to you. But that doesn't really make sense. In the beginning, we agreed with the panelists having different perspectives, and I have said that she would be great. I definitely didn't listen to that, as in like she hasn't been listening to my voice notes. But I've talked to you about this on the calls too. So were you just not listening then? I definitely didn't listen to that, but I don't think it's an option to not have. She already booked a flight because I asked her the same day, and I disagreed that I'd be jumping from one topic to another. And all I think it would provide a perspective that's needed more than anything. That's low-key all I have to say, but we'll respond once I'm done with this speaking engagement. And so I said, just text me later when you're done with your meeting. Now, let me tell you what I'm thinking at this point. At this point, I'm pissed. I'm not even going to hide it. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm pissed. Not only have I told her a million times why I don't think Ladan is a good fit, but now she's saying this is not an option. She already booked a flight. The reason why I recorded this entire chat to show with you guys is because I have shared every single detail with her. Every single DM, every single decision, every single caption, every single thing with her. I have kept her in the loop this whole time. She has mentioned Ladan one time in the beginning. All she said was she's a professor and she would be great. There was no follow-up. There was no, oh, I had a conversation with her. There was no, here's what I think she would add, like the value I think she would add. There was no panel agreement. There was none of that. Not only that, but just saying somebody in the beginning does not make them an official panelist. Not only is she not on the website, she's not on the panel doc. She's like...
On September 21st, Hallie had an opportunity to look at all of the speakers, see the confirmed speakers, see the speakers in progress, and see the speakers that were manifesting. She had the opportunity to look at this and say, let me add my co-founder because I want her to be a speaker. She could have put her on here. She had the opportunity to put her on here, and she never did. Here we have confirmed speakers. September 21st, Hallie was looking at this doc. She was editing this doc. We were talking about this doc, and she claimed that we never talked about the panel.
And second of all, we haven't even discussed the panel yet. which is one of the things she listed. We haven't even done that yet. We were going to do that this week. I made a panel doc in December. Yeah, I made it with you.
Another thing that I want to point out is the only thing Hallie did was put down this matcha drink. As you can see, Hallie did not fill out anything on here except fix my spelling errors. This list, I typed it out. Hallie typed out these, and I can confidently say that all of these were my idea. That is all that Hallie has done on this document. That is all that she contributed to this document. This document was fully built by me on the 19th. I even put catering options that she could reach out to. Did she ever reach out to them? No. I even put all these ideas there for her. Local businesses, servers. Has she reached out to a single local business until the very end? No. I even gave her example, mini samosas from a Somali restaurant, spring roll, sliders, dessert shooters. Why would you have someone book a flight without ever even confirming them? Without us even having that discussion? I've asked her so many times at this point, can you let me know what you think? What are your thoughts on this? I never said, Ladan is a hard no. I opened the floor for conversation so many times. Let me know what you think. We have to think about the logistics. We have to think about the flow. So to now just like corner me and say, you don't have a choice because she booked a flight. I have put so much work and effort into this, and for you to just come and make these decisions without even talking to me first. So she was like, yeah, I'm done, but that was pretty much it above. I think this is something we could have discussed and sat down about. Exactly. This is something we could have discussed and sat down about. This is not my first time bringing up this conversation and opening the floor for you. It wasn't me saying, no, we're not going to have Ladan. I was being collaborative. I was saying, let me know what you think. I don't want to be an asshole and make all the decisions. We talked about Sandy. We talked about Anna. I told you why I think they're a good fit. We locked in on Sandy. You didn't have a problem with that. And so yeah, we should have sat down and had a discussion before she booked the flight. And then she goes, I think Sandy is great along with the other speakers you suggested. And I suggested Ladan from the beginning because I think she's a great speaker and provides a lot of value. And that hasn't changed on my end. She's a great speaker and provides a lot of value, but how does she fit into the flow of this event? I never once said she didn't offer good value. I never once said she was a bad speaker. I'm just asking, how does she fit? And you're just now saying Sandy's great. So how are you going to flip the script later and say, I never questioned you about Sandy? You just said she was great. I responded and I said, what do you think she could contribute to the event? What about career? So we can get an understanding about the flow of the event and how it will translate to the audience. How would it translate to the audience? I think this could have been something we sat down and discussed before you confirmed her and she booked her flight without telling me. Emphasis on the without telling me. Booking a ticket is kind of crazy, not gonna lie. I haven't talked to Ladan or even sent her the official panel invite. I don't know nothing about this Ladan lady other than she's a professor and now her full name and her photos. That's all I know about her. She responds, I haven't talked to Sandy. The floor was always open. You could have asked me about Sandy before. I gave you her, I gave you all of her socials. We've talked about her in every single call. You just said 2 seconds ago that you think Sandy's great. So now all of a sudden, why is she an issue? It's not that I kept Sandy a secret from you. It's not that I didn't talk to you about booking Sandy. I literally told you we got Sandy locked in. I texted her September 21st, we have Sandy locked in. So it's not like I told her to book a flight and locked her in without telling her. So she goes, what are you talking about? I've been saying Ladan since the beginning, the same you've been saying Sandy and the mediator, but those are all people we've officially locked in. Those are all people we've talked about. You mentioned Ladan one time in September and never followed up. I just trusted that you obviously would put amazing people on the same way I expected you to trust that. So the reason why this entire conversation really made me feel sick to my stomach is now we're not talking about logistics. Now we're not talking about the project. Now we're not talking about the actual problem at hand, which is the fact that you didn't discuss this with me. Now we're talking about emotions. Now we're talking about morality. Now we're talking about I trusted you. You should have never blindly trusted me. I gave you all the information that you needed to look into Sandy, but you were sitting here agreeing with everything. Yeah, I agree. 100%. I love that. Love, love, love. You should have thought about everything. You should have considered everything. It's not about just blindly trusting each other. It's about collaborating. And that's what I'm trying to do right now is understand how she would fit in. And I asked you this a million times. It's not about trust. Now it's, oh, you're not considering me. You're not trusting me. It was never about trust. I never said your idea is bad. I never said that London was not valuable. But why is this all of a sudden about emotions and trust? You didn't tell me about her at all, but yet you're saying she booked a flight. That's the problem. It's you not communicating it with me. And then she goes, I sent you the topics that she's happy to discuss above, and it doesn't make sense to dismiss her without one, reviewing those, discussing the event flow. Exactly. We haven't even decided the flow of the event, period. And we did talk about the event flow. We did talk about the panel flow. I made a panel doc saying it's going to run for 60 minutes, 10-minute period, potential questions, panelists, confirmed, unconfirmed. You've had that since September. And let's say that is the case. Let's say we haven't discussed the event flow. So why are we booking people? Why are we booking flights? Now it comes into, I've been nothing but respectful and understanding of the people you want to bring on. So having that reciprocated on my end isn't even something that should be questioned or discussed. Was I ever disrespectful about Lovin? But if I bring up a concern and I set a boundary and I say, yo, not discussing this with me is not cool, all of a sudden it's, you're not trusting me. You're not listening to me. It should be reciprocated. Coming at my morality and me as a person and saying, you don't trust me. This isn't about trust. This isn't about, I respected you, you respected me. I've been respectful this whole time. You're still not telling me how this fits the event flow. You're still not answering the questions I have. All of a sudden it's, I trusted you. And the fact that she's saying respect being reciprocated is not something that we need to discuss. The discussion was never about whether I respect you or love it or not. The discussion is about the fact that I have been open and honest and transparent, and I've sent every message, every DM, everything to you. And you still went and made decisions without coming to me and talking about it. Like you said, this is something we should have sat down and discussed. But now you're telling me you don't have a choice. That's controlling and weird. And to very quickly take offense at me asking questions when I've been nothing but respectful. You know my tone. You know how I show up. You know how I talk. So to take offense to that and to take that personally, that's weird. I'm sorry, but this conversation made me so uncomfortable. It made me so sick. This is manipulative. That's what it is. I respond to her. I've been nothing but respectful to your busy schedule, Hallie. You guys have seen it. There's no ifs, there's no buts. You guys have seen it. Every single day I'm busy, I'm this, I have my period, I'm this. I've been respectful and patient. I have made the panel doc in September. You guys have seen it. I made it and I sent it. It's not something that I was hiding, and we discussed it every single call. She even used it to send it to her manager. I've been respectful when you literally just gave away 3 free tickets without discussing it with me first. Now this sentence is very important because she took it and she created a narrative that I was mad at her for giving away 3 free tickets for people who needed accessibility. Again, weaponizing accessibility for her own benefit. However, I am saying that because she made a decision without me. It's not about the free tickets. I had no problem with the free tickets. So the fact that she used that to weaponize ableism is crazy, and accessibility. I said, you just gave away 3 free tickets without discussing it with me first, and I was respectful. I didn't even question it. I didn't even say, yo, you could have asked me first. She sent me a voice note with her munching on chips talking about I gave away 3 tickets.
I told her, actually save 3 tickets because their mom is coming and obviously Hoya needs a seat. That was a problem for her. And that is something that she mentioned, but did not mention the context around. She tried to make it a thing where it's like accessibility next time. We got them next time. And I was like, there is no next time. This needs to be made happen. I don't care what we need to do in order to do that. Also, forget morally, but like legally, like you can't not have accessibility. Like it's messed up in so many levels. And that to me was the first red flag, because that just spoke volumes of somebody's character to me personally.
I was like, I also respected you when you lashed out on me over an email that was never sent. We confirmed Sandy and are working on Anna. We have talked about this so many times on every single call. London was just a name you threw around with no data or nothing to back it up. Every time I asked a question, you never answered. When I came with the panelists, I came with the details. I don't know what you want me to review because I don't see anything above. It's weird to book a flight without us, like you said, even reviewing and confirming her. So she's literally saying we didn't review and confirm her. So why is she booking a flight? I'm sorry that you feel like your ideas haven't been landing, but they also haven't been delivered. How many times have you guys seen Hallie come to me and say, yo, I figured this thing out. Yo, I got this done. hey, Bahja, here's this. What do you think? Just floating ideas. Just, oh, we should do this. You got to deliver it. You got to lock in and actually do something about it. I'm sorry that you feel like your ideas haven't been landing, but they haven't been delivered. The same way you've been busy with speaking engagements, meetings, maintenance, back-to-back appointments, I've been busy carrying this event. I'm exhausted. And I still fit everything into your schedule. I've confirmed everything that I did for this event with you beforehand. Every email, every DM, I have shared it. And then I said, can I FaceTime you? I don't want to argue over dumb things. Like, let's get on FaceTime. Let's hash it out now. Let's actually have a conversation. Wow. I'm going to bring this back now. Bring what back now? Now we're acting like, oh, I'm the one who's not rational. I'm going to bring this back now. This is a business partnership, not an argument. A business partnership that you've contributed nothing to? Now we want to talk about business partnerships. When you want to control me into allowing something, when you want to punish me for setting a boundary, because you can't just go book people without discussing it with me first. But now you want to be a business partnership. Okay.
Throwing in my face the fact that I gave away 3 free tickets to girls that need accessibility. I don't need to discuss that with you.
She said she didn't need to discuss giving away 3 free tickets, but also is calling this a business partnership. So which one is it? Because if I'm funding most of the event, decisions like that need to be discussed, including whether she was paying for those tickets herself or expecting the cost to be absorbed. The issue was never the fact that I had a problem with her giving away 3 free tickets to people who were in need and accessibility. The problem was she didn't discuss it with me. So this is extremely misleading.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm not going to continue this conversation that's coded in accusations like lacking out or undelivered work, especially when none of those things are true. You and I are co-creating this event, but you haven't co-created anything. Now you want to be a co-creator when you want to fight for one person or like one idea, because I set one boundary with you after literally carrying this entire event on my back this whole time. You and I are co-creating this event. That means both of our choices, idea, and people deserve equal respect. Now we're back to saying Bahja's being disrespectful because she said you should have discussed this with me first. Now you're saying I don't respect Ladan, I don't respect your idea. But what have I been saying this whole time? It's not your idea. It's not a bad idea. Ladan would, whatever she has to bring, the career, the OGBYN, all of that is valuable. I never, ever once said her idea was bad. I just said, I don't know how it fits into the flow. Please elaborate. And now she's saying that basically I'm not giving her the respect that she's earned and that she deserves. And then she goes, I've trusted your selections without question, but you should have questioned them, Hallie. That's what a co-creator does. That's what a co-host does. You should have came to me and said, yo, Bahja, how does this work? How does this fit? I don't like this idea. And I would have respected that. But she never did. Everything, oh, I love that. So you just thought I would blindly say, oh, I love that to every idea you bring up? After I've crafted this entire event, if you remove everything that I did, there is no event. There's just Hallie and one cater contact, Lunds and Byerly. And so this is crazy. I've trusted your selections without question, even when I didn't personally know them. It's not about who we personally know. Just because we personally know somebody does not automatically make them a great panelist. Especially, I don't personally know Anna or Anna. I'm literally contacting her manager. Now hear this. I've trusted your people without selection, even when when I didn't personally know them, because I trust you and the vision we're building together. You guys know how dangerous this type of wording is. She's not taking accountability for the one thing that I'm the one boundary that I'm setting, but she's going, I trusted you. So now I'm gonna blindly trust you. We're still not talking about the actual problem here, the actual thing that got us to this point. The only thing I raised is that I want the same trust and respect from you in return. I never not once disrespected you. And then she goes, especially for someone I've chosen intentionally and have a track record with. Because you chose somebody intentionally and you have a track record with them, still does not make them a good panelist for this event. Still doesn't mean that whatever they have to bring fits into the flow of this event. Let's not lose the topic that we're talking about. Because it's not about how you feel. It's not about how well you know her. It's not about any of that. I've never disrespected Ladan. I've never disrespected what she had to bring, and I've never disrespected you. I just want to understand how she fits into the event. Then she goes, this isn't about schedules, past moments, or who has done more. Yeah, it is. Because if you want to be a co-host, right, you got to act like one. So to now say that that doesn't matter when I bring up concerns, she's basically dismissing everything that I'm saying and just saying that doesn't matter. If that is a discussion you'd like to have, I'm more than happy to have it with you. So have it with me. Why are we now saying that that doesn't matter? Let's have that conversation because that is what led us to this moment. But no, she continues to dismiss it. This current discussion is about keeping the partnership equal and collaborative on both sides. So be equal, be collaborative. The way that I've been respecting you and sending you 11-minute long voice notes, 5-minute long voice notes to constantly keep you updated, to constantly keep you in the loop when you barely respond to me, was that not me being collaborative and respectful? And you couldn't show me that same collaboration and respect back. And then when I bring up my concerns and I set a boundary, now all of a sudden I'm the bad guy. I don't trust you. That was never the issue. That was never the case. That was never even the conversation. And if you don't think it gets worse, it gets worse. She says, if you'd like to have an actual discussion about this, it needs to happen on a call where we're both calm and grounded. I'm interested in solutions, not arguments. That's not the same person that was talking about some belt to foot earlier. Like, when did we get so HR, very professional, it's weird. The energy switch up is weird. And this is all to make herself look professional. What's really scary about this, and I genuinely said, I am afraid of this girl. And my intuition was right. And the reason why I was afraid was because of this energy switch up. And I said, if this were to be screenshotted and she's the type of person to take this to social media, her very careful wording now paints her to be the professional one, paints her to be the rational one. It's actually dangerous. And that's exactly what she did. And I knew it.
And that is when the conversation unfolded. Now, in this conversation, that is when I realized that I was not dealing with somebody that I truly knew. And that is when I was really trying to be professional, because at the end of the day, this is business.
Guys, I might be patient, but I'm not dumb. I might be patient. I might be kind. I might be considerate, but I am not going to let you walk all over me. Not tonight. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. So she continues to say, I'm interested in solutions, not arguments, but you still haven't even answered any of my questions. You still haven't given me the solutions to why you think that Ladan is a good fit. Let me know when you're available. I'm not talking to you right now. We can talk tomorrow. This is crazy. Now she's the victim. This is crazy. Oh, you took it too far, Behja. This is wild that you would ever question something that I did, that you would ever set a boundary, that you would ever speak up after I literally made you do everything up until this point and I just dilly-dallied. Now it's too much. Whoa, this is crazy. Now my response was, you are guilting me into a situation I cannot get out of. I feel blindsided and you're putting me in a situation where I can't be a co-host and make the decisions with you. I told you I respected Ladan and what she had to bring, but it was never set in stone. Was I so wrong to really just point out exactly what she did? Because she did corner me and say, there's no backing out of this now. She already booked the flight. You can't question me because I've always trusted you. Because now we're not talking about logistics. Now we're not talking about how we can actually fix the problem. Now we're talking about how you made me feel and how you're being unfair and how you're being unreasonable. And then she goes, we might as well have to call at this point. I did offer to get on a call. I said, you never questioned Sandy, not because you trusted, but because you never considered it. And that's the gag is, you never considered it. And then I said, because why is Sandy a problem now when she's been a confirmed panelist in September? She does perfectly, I guess I was trying to say, she fits perfectly into the theme of the panel. I still don't know how Ladan would fit. That's the problem, not your idea. I wanted you to be equally invested and raise concerns. The floor was always open. It was always open. And I've asked so many times at this point, the floor was always open for her to step up. The opportunities for her to step up and do something have always been there. She never did. She never took it until now when tickets are sold out. It's all really weird. It's all very odd. And then she goes, huh? But just speaking for me is crazy. See how this now again makes her the victim. All I said was that she was pushing me into a corner that I can't get out of now. But just speaking to me like this is crazy. You never questioned Sandy, not because you trusted, but because you didn't consider it. Literally what? How could you even say that? See how now the conversation is, how could you say that? How could you do something like that to me? How could you not trust me? All of a sudden she's the victim to the situation. When I'm the one who was blindsided, when I'm the one who's trying to tell her, you crossed the boundary, but now she's the victim. I have nothing to say to you at this point. We can either figure this out as a team or keep believing what you want, but either way, we have an event on December 27th. We can either figure this out or you can get, basically she's saying get in line. She's saying set yourself straight because we have an event that she's done nothing to contribute to. And now she's creating this fake collaboration when she's been refusing not only this entire conversation, but this entire time and this entire process, she's never once collaborated. But now she's all about teamwork. Now she's all about professionalism. Now she's all about being a co-host. But where was that energy before? When I actually needed it? When the team actually needed it, where was the teamwork? When I'm sitting here and I'm begging you, can you please just get to catering? When I'm sitting here and I'm chasing you around and saying, yo, when are you free? When can we get on a call? When can we do this? Where was teamwork then? And now trying to discredit all of that and brush it under the rug and say, yo, none of that matters. We're not talking about past schedules. No, all of that does matter because that's what led us to this moment. Last thing on my end, I want to move this conversation into a more productive, respectful space. The message I sent earlier was from a place of shock because some of the statements you made didn't reflect what actually happened. So what happened? At this point, continuing over text is only creating more misunderstanding, which is why I asked you, yo, let's get on a call. We need to talk so we can reset, clarify, and move forward as partners. Oh, now we're all about being grounded. I said, let's get on a call when you have time. And she said, anytime before 12 and or after 2 works. And I said, let's do 3. Also, I'm really not upset with you. And when I sent this message, I genuinely meant it, bro. I'm not mad or upset with you. We just have some things to figure out and an insane event to host. Pressure is up and stress can feel like a lot. I was like, oh, this is just the pressure. This is just the stress getting to us. I apologize if I ever said anything disrespectful. It's all a part of the process, and I promise I didn't take anything personal. Talk to you tomorrow, inshallah, and let's both read Ayatul Kursi. Now, that's the line I want to talk about because mocking God is crazy. But the reason why I said let's read Ayatul Kursi is like, damn, like let's chill. Like that was just me trying to make the conversation light again because I didn't want to argue. I didn't want it to be a big deal. But it was a big deal. It like you guys, this conversation was extremely scary to me. It was extremely scary to me because the switch up was crazy. The switch up was crazy. Now, a lot of you guys might sit here and think, oh, well, Bahja, she was just trying to be professional. Bahja, she was just trying to keep the conversation grounded. She just didn't want it to get heated. I knew exactly what she was doing. And this was one of those moments where your gut instinct is right. Because when I saw the way that this woman was communicating, the way that she was showing up, the way that she was saying things, the way she was wording things, the way that she was flipping the narratives, creating this victim narrative, right? That she's the victim. I knew she had different motives. I don't know what it was, but a part of me was like, I am actually scared. I texted my friend. I said, I am scared. And I said, if she's the type of person to take things like this to social media, she's going to flip this and use it against me. And that is exactly what happened.
So I am baffled. I had to walk away. I had to step away. My jaw was on the floor. So I sent her this message, and I was really and truly trying to be professional here because this is a business.
She continues to say, this is a business. This is a business. But the exact thing that got us to this point is the fact that she wasn't treating it like a business, is the fact that she was making decisions without discussing them with me first, major decisions. It was the fact that she didn't put in any effort. It was the fact that she didn't give any sort of contribution over the 3 months that she had to show up.
And then I said, I'm not talking to you right now. And then here came the gaslighting. This response really and truly had me baffled. I could not believe what I was reading. I was baffled, to say the least. And I did just get a slightly unprofessional with the but you guys, I've never ever in my life dealt with somebody like this, and I had to just reel it in so many times. So I send one last message, and I try to keep it extremely professional, and I try to keep it calm. And at this point, I'm walking on eggshells. At this point, I'm like, oh my goodness, white flag, what is going on?
Everything that happened after this point told me that my gut instinct was right because I literally felt sick. I literally went to take a shower, right? And at this point, I have talked to my mom, I've talked to my closest friends, I've talked to my sisters, and I'm like, this is scary and something about this is not sitting right with me. And for you guys who are not spiritual, for you guys who don't care about that and don't believe in that, that is all you. But there is not a single time where I did not trust my gut and things went right. And this time I was not gonna not trust my gut. In my soul, I need to get away from this. I need to get away from this situation. I need to get away from this girl. And I was so right, because she went to social media and she lied, implying that I'm an ableist and I don't care about accessibility, implying that she doesn't know what I'm doing with the funds and what I'm doing with the money. She claimed and weaponized her busy schedule, and I've respected it this whole time. Not only at the very end, but also in the beginning when I said, I know you just got a job. Please let me know if this is something that you're open to doing. She could have said no. If she knew she didn't have the capacity for something like this, she could have said no. And still I was respectful, and still I was patient, and still I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Now, let me tell you what I did though. I decided that night she needed to go. Something in me felt so unsafe, guys. I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm not saying this for jokes and shits and gigs. And I know the haters are gonna be like, oh, she just had a gut feeling. I know the timing is shitty, right? The timing is shitty. We just announced this. I announced it with her name attached to it. And now I'm letting her go. So the timing was really bad. And I knew it was, but it was something that I was willing to eat up. I removed her off of everything. And yeah, that's not the best move to make. I removed her because I was like, this could get a lot worse. I revoked access from my Squarespace, everything, basically. I gave her back the money that she contributed, which was $200 for a cart, and I offered to give her boxes back. Just let me know what address to send it to. She never responded. Not only that, but yes, I did remove her off of everything. I removed her name off of the panel list. She was no longer going to be a part of this. And I did send out an email that same night telling people, if you're upset with these changes, I will give you a refund. Mind you, tickets are non-refundable, but I'm going to give you a refund. Don't you worry. I did that. Some might look at that and say, oh, that's impulsive, but I think that's intuition. I've seen the way that she switched up in conversation and painted me to be the villain in the text message, so I can't imagine what she's going to do later down the road. So I removed her without telling her. Without having the conversation with her first, I removed her. If I felt like she's contributed something to keep her, I would never have removed her. If I felt like she put in effort, if I felt like she put in time, if she even like helped build the website, I would not have removed her. I would have stuck it through, and I would have waited till after the event to just never speak to her again. However, she has no connection to anything. All she had was a couple ideas. That's not enough to co-host an event. I know what it takes, and I put in all the work, and I'm exhausted. So I removed her. Next day, sun is shining. I don't hear anything from her. I'm at a coffee shop. She calls me at 3 o'clock. That was the time we were supposed to get on a call. So I go to my car. What she did was she recorded the call, went to social media, used it as evidence, and lied. And she doesn't know I have the call, but I will play it for you guys, the full call. So we're on the call, and I am basically explaining to her why I came to this conclusion. I told her how much this event means to me, how much effort I put in it, how much time it took, how I feel like she didn't contribute anything, very little. And I had a really hard time even saying that. I had a hard time saying that to her because I never want to be the type of person, and I'm not like this with any of my friendships. I'm not like this with any of my family. We don't do the whole counting. I did this for you, now you do this for me. So I even had a hard time saying I feel like you didn't contribute much, because I'm just not the type of person to say, oh, I did this, you did that. Now I gotta be that person, and I have to stand up for myself and tell you guys exactly how it is. But I had a really hard time even telling her you didn't contribute anything, but that is the truth. I told her you didn't contribute anything, and I just don't like the way that you've handled the situation, especially last night. The conversation just gave me the heebie-jeebies. And I said it gave me the clarity I needed. And I did say that this is something that it's not an emotional reaction. It's not something that I just came to the conclusion of. This is, and I didn't know how to like say it in the moment, because obviously I'm not scripting and I'm not reading off of a script, but I was basically trying to explain to her that this last conversation has given me clarity on something that I've known deep down. The energy shift at the very end when tickets started to sell, it's something that I've had conversations with my mom about. And I'm like, something about this is not right. And so what she did that night really confirmed it for me. And I don't know how to tell somebody that. So I'm sitting here like, you know, I just know myself. Like, I just, you know what I'm saying? But like, I just didn't know how to like express that. But that's exactly what it was. It was buildup. It was pattern recognition. It was my intuition. The bells were ringing. And so after that call, basically in the call, I'm asking her, she's saying, I have ownership. This is something that I've spent resources and time and effort towards. So I have ownership over She Evolves, and I just would never do this to a stranger, let alone a friend. Pulling the friend card is crazy because you know we're not good friends. Not only that, but I would never do what you did, what you were plotting to do throughout this call to a friend or a stranger. So I asked her, what have you contributed? Tell me. I've told you I've built this Squarespace. I've paid for the venue. I pay for the Squarespace. So what have you contributed? But for her to sit here and say, oh, I have ownership, and a line that I did say and I will take accountability for, I did tell her, how the hell you call yourself a co-host, but you still got erased off of that website. And the reason why I said that is because it's like, you're claiming you have ownership and you're a co-host, but you haven't put in any effort. You haven't stepped up to any responsibility. And so, yeah, you were able to be removed because I did build the website. I did set up the Instagram. I did set up the Stan store. I did do all these things. Even the Pinterest board, I made it. So, like, there's really nothing you've contributed here. There's nothing that ties to you. And that's why I said that. Was it a little harsh? Yeah. There's nothing tying you to this event, but you have ownership over it. I told her, like, the reason why we're even here is because you decided to make decisions without me. On that call, she basically ends with saying nothing, just saying, I don't care what you have to say. I don't care what you have to say about London. And obviously you guys can hear it for yourselves.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry, I literally just got in my car.
You're fine. I wanted to call because I need some clarity. I woke up to being removed from the website, the Instagram, like access revoked, like a payment refunded without any conversation, and it was clearly a very unilateral decision in a project that we are co-hosting. So I wanted to, well, we said we were going to call at 3, so I wanted to call and before we move forward, understand why that was done and in that way, because yeah.
First of all, thank you for calling. I think a conversation is definitely needed, but I think my decision on that didn't come from like a reaction, or it didn't come from an emotional place. It definitely is something that...
Wait, sorry. You're breaking up.
Oh, wait, is it good now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think,
okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, but I was just saying, like, I think this is a decision that I definitely came to, not just like out of like reaction or out of emotion, but it's something that I genuinely thought of. And even, oh my God, wait, can you hear me? Because it sounds so like loud.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm at a cafe, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I literally am at one too. I just came outside, but yeah, so it's something that I've just kind of been thinking about. It's something that's kind of been on my heart, and it hasn't been on my heart for a long time. Like, I won't say it's a long period of time, but like, I think just yesterday, the way that you kind of responded gave me the clarity that I needed to move forward. And I know that this is something that we were meant to co-host together, but being a co-host doesn't like, I feel like I was like just the host. Like, I feel like you were just kind of there, and I don't want to sit here and say like you didn't do anything and I did everything, because I'm really not the type of person who would, like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right for me to sit here and say I did this and I did that, because I've done it from a place of love and passion and care. And this project is something that isn't just an event, but it's something that I've literally been working towards my entire career, and it's something that's so meaningful to me. And I need to have the right people on my team if I'm gonna have people at all. And just the way that you responded yesterday, and then on top of just how little like input that you've given me, how little like help that you've given, I just don't think that it's something that I could move forward with. And I know it's something that you're probably thinking, like, why wouldn't you have a conversation with me about it? But I genuinely know myself, and it's not something that I just came to the decision of like last night, oh my God, let me remove her. But I need to protect this project, and I need to protect my legacy that I've been working on for so long. And that's just all I have to say about that. And I'm so sorry that it had to happen in such a like dramatic way, or like, and I didn't mean to like blindside you, but this is something that I've put so much care, intention, purpose into, and I have to protect that. at the end of the day. And I made sure that last night I sent out an email as well to every single customer that purchased, and I told them that I will offer a refund if they are disappointed with the fact that you're not on the project anymore. And I made it very clear, and that's just where I'm at, and that's why I've come to that conclusion.
Okay, so I hear your perspective. I most definitely don't agree, not even an inch.
Okay.
My contributions have been consistent. They have been documented. They have been aligned with everything that we've discussed. And regardless of if you feel a certain way or not, at the end of the day, this was a decision that we made together. This is an event that we hosted together. These things that are on here are some of my ideas. They are efforts that, like, either way, it has been time, it's been marketing, it's been commitment, and there's been not just hours, not just energy, everything that has been done towards this event. And there's ownership within that I have with She Evolves. And I think it's extremely unprofessional. It's extremely, like, honestly just unethical for you to remove me, wipe me off of the website when the last text message that you sent me was, I'm not mad or upset, we just have some things to figure out, and that it's going to be an insane event. I apologize, whatever, it's all a part of the process. We'll talk tomorrow, let's read Ayat Kursi. And then to not even like be hearing from you, but hearing from other people, getting direct messages from other people saying, I noticed you're not on here, what's going on, what's this, what's that. That is, I genuinely think that is the worst way possible to deal with the situation, one, but also to deal with a friend. Like, I am not just like some random person. I'm somebody who, at least on my end, I was like, oh, this is a friend of mine. I would never even do that to a stranger, never mind somebody that I'm co-hosting with, because at the end of the day, this is also a business, and at the end of the day, it's not just me that's involved, it's my management that's involved. Like, there's a lot of moving parts to this.
I'm gonna cut you off right there.
I'm done talking. So.
Okay, well, that's perfect. With this project, Hallie, you know I came to you and I told you I wanted you to be a part of it. You know that I'm the one who came with all the ideas. I'm the one who built the website.
With an idea.
Hold on. An idea that I executed. An idea that I executed. That
I also executed.
Hallie, please let me finish.
Girl,
you have
please.
Not contributed anything, Hallie. And that's why how are you, hold on, pause. How are you going to call yourself a co-host, right? And you have ownership over this, and you've done so much, and you deserve respect, and you deserve to be listened to, and you still got erased off of that website with so much ease because you haven't contributed anything. That's my Squarespace that I paid for. I paid for the venue. I literally contributed everything into this, and all you gave me was ideas that didn't back it. And now the thing with this whole situation is you're asking for my respect. You're asking for me to discuss with you. However, you booked somebody. You made decisions without even discussing it with me first, and then you try to sit here and hold on, I'm sorry, not the accessibility, I'm talking about Ladan. The accessibility was, forget about that, put that on the side. I'm talking about Ladan. And then to come to me and say, but you made decisions without me, but I didn't meet Sandy, when I've never made a decision without you, Hallie. Now hold on, go ahead.
I'm gonna pause you right there. I really don't care.
You really don't care about this event, Hallie.
Can I speak?
I'm sorry.
I don't care about what you have to say about
I don't care
or whatever.
You have to say either.
I completely disagree with that.
It's crazy.
I'm not going to debate it. Since you feel I apparently contributed nothing, then it sounds like that's what you think.
It's not what I think. So, what did you contribute to? Give me five things that you've done.
I just told you.
I've literally given you. No, hold on. No, I literally told you you're gonna take care of catering and the charity, and we still don't have catering, and we still don't have a charity, Hallie. How about that?
Bahja,
It's
at the end of the
absolutely
day, I presented
insane.
multiple options.
You didn't
If you're not happy
tell
with
me
that, I
one
really
thing. Hold
think
on.
that's up
Tell me
to
one
you.
thing on that list of activities that was your idea. Not a single one.
On the list
Of
Okay, sure. We'll
activities.
go with that. But here's
No,
the thing.
we're not gonna
Since
just
you
sure
feel
we'll
I
go with that.
contributed
Please
nothing,
tell me what you've
then it
contributed.
sounds like you're formally removing me from the event.
I've
so please
formally
confirm
removed
that
you.
so I can handle
I've
next
formally-
steps professionally.
I have formally removed you, Hallie. Thank
Beautiful,
you very
beautiful.
much. Have a good
Thank
day.
The conversation switches. After I call her out, she gets extremely aggressive. She starts yelling over the phone. She says, name one thing you did. Name one thing you did. Did you do this? Did you do that? And I know that she's trying to provoke me because I saw that through the text messages last night. So my only goal with this is for her to confirm, am I officially off the event? Because if I am, then I owe my audience an explanation. So we go back and forth. The part where I say I don't care is I say, no, I don't care about, I'll play it. Pause. I'm gonna pause you right there. I really don't care. At the end of the day, this is all I'm gonna say. Can I speak? I don't care about. She says, you really don't care about this event, right, Hallie? And I said, don't care. At the end of the day, this is all I'm gonna say. Can I speak? I don't care about what you have to say about Lovin or whatever. So then she says, I don't care what you have to say. I don't care what you have to say. I don't care what you have to say. And she says that over and over and over again, like a really grown and mature woman.
Her narration of the call is extremely telling. She claimed I repeated things over and over and over again, which isn't true. That framing is used to support this narrative that I'm unreasonable, that I'm manipulative, that I'm a liar. She also says I was loud, aggressive, and screaming, which is false. I raised my voice out of frustration because she repeatedly talked over me. And of course, that context was intentionally left out because before she even played the call, she told the audience and set the stage for them and said that I was going to lie, that I was a liar, that she now knows that I am somebody who is unreasonable and hard to deal with.
At the point of the phone call, I already knew the type of person this woman was. I already knew the type of person I was walking into. And honestly, I didn't even know what to expect, but I knew much about her character. And I knew that she would fabricate and lie about this call. So I recorded it.
This is actually making me sick to my stomach.
And I say, I just need you to confirm one thing. It sounds like you're formally removing me from the event, so please confirm that. Okay, sure, we'll go with that. But here's the thing. Since you feel I contributed nothing, then it sounds like you're formally removing me from the event, so please confirm that so I can handle next steps professionally. I formally remove you, I formally remove you, I formally remove you. So, yes, I made a video. Yes, I brought it to the internet. People invested money into this.
What she did afterwards is crazy. So I'm sitting in this parking lot, and as I pull out of the parking lot, she's already made a video. She's already dropped the video with no context, a little video of her dancing, basically saying, and she goes, at least leave a note, basically claiming that she has no idea how this could have came about. We just had a conversation not even 20 minutes ago, not even 10 minutes ago. And of course, social media is gonna eat that up. Immediately the video starts blowing up. And y'all know what's happening? People are dragging me. People are creating these narratives. People are saying I used her, I stole her ideas, I launched and I, used her name to launch and get sales, and then I kicked her to the curb. All of these things that are obviously not true. And she's sitting back, watching all of this happen, giving zero context. All she's saying is she kicked me off and I have no idea why. And now I am getting dragged online. There are think pieces being made. People were so excited about my downfall. People were so excited to finally have a reason to show their hatred towards me. So I'm getting dragged. People are talking about my family. People are harassing me in my comments. People are DMing me. Like, it was like something I've never seen before. Okay, we're back on our camera now. We're back on my camera. So yeah, people are on lives and saying I'm gonna get jumped, saying I'm gonna get beat. There were grandmothers on live talking about me. There were women who could have birthed me on live till 4 a.m. talking about me and my family. Accusations, think pieces. Now, I'm not gonna entertain that. I'm not going to entertain that. These are people that haven't heard my side of the story, but were so quick to jump on me. That's not my community. That's not my people. That's not people I need to prove myself to, because they're operating from a place of ignorance. Now I'm gonna go meet with my florist and just like have that conversation, because the show must go on. And before that, I did film a little video basically talking about the heart of She Evolves, why I started this, why this matters to me, and what the vision is, okay? Posted it. Now people are even more pissed because they're like, how dare you be happy? How dare you not come online and cry and entertain us? So I go to the coffee shop, and as I'm sitting there, I get a text message that Hallie made another video. She sat down and made a 5-minute long video. In this video, she basically, and everything's gonna be linked in the description, okay? And one of her main claims on this video was, I had no idea how, when I was removed. I kind of found out with you guys. And she repeats that many times in different forms. Is she wrong? No, she did not know that I removed her that same night. But now you do know, and now you do know why. But even after you knew, you still went online to claim you don't know and kind of create this narrative that you're clueless and you have no idea why you could ever be removed off of this. We had a call and I told you exactly why. Or she just implied that she was removed unfairly and she has no idea, and she just constantly talked about how she felt and all of these things, feeding to the fire on social media, feeding to the fire on social media. So now people are like, you kicked her off and she has no idea. Why would you remove her and not tell her why? Why did you remove her? Why did you remove her? She knows why I removed her. We had a whole conversation and she's just shocked and she just has no idea, like a deer in headlights. But she knows exactly why. Not once did this ever even need to go on social media, but she claims she had to come and clear things up to her audience. But she never gives any context. She's not telling anybody the reason why I removed her, but what she's saying is, for those of you guys who need accessibility, just know your voice matters, and basically implying that she doesn't know why she was kicked off. All she knows is she fought for accessibility. And I was against it, apparently. Not only that, but she sat there and told the camera, I don't know what the event coordinator is gonna do with the money. I don't know what she's gonna do. I have no access to it. You guys deserve a refund. Dispute charges.
If you purchased a ticket, I genuinely can't say like I can give you a refund. I have no access to the funds. Anything that you purchased, anything with that event, any profit made is closed off to me. So I would recommend reaching out to the event coordinator. Since that's no longer my event, like I would recommend, doing that and like reaching out to them in order to get your refund, because I mean, if you're no longer interested in going, you deserve to be able to get that refund, and I believe you can. So I would shoot them a message or dispute your charge, whatever's up to you. But
that is insane. Not only on the call did I tell her straight up I was offering refunds, even though I didn't have to. I was offering refunds, and she goes and says, I don't know about refunds. I don't know what she's gonna do. Telling somebody to dispute charges. First of all, she knows that the funds and like all of that is connected directly to my Stripe and connected directly to my business. So she knows that this is harmful towards my business. She knows that. Yet she is encouraging people to do it. And that's not the lawful way to go about it. When somebody makes a dispute charge, it's not the same as a refund. Basically, what that does is it flags my business as fraud. And now there's going to be a fraud investigation on my business because she told people to dispute charges, knowing that I am offering refunds. And I've said it so clearly. I've posted about it on Instagram. I've sent out an email. I couldn't have been more clear about that. So to go and tell people to dispute charges was intentional. Not only that, but I want to share with you guys the caption. She said, to everyone who supported me, invested tickets to see me, or simply believed in what I was trying to build, thank you. You haven't built anything. You haven't built anything. If you take all the things that Hallie did, all she has is a pancake cart. All she did was slap her name onto the event. That's it. I'm truly sorry for any confusion or disappointment this caused. And to those who reached out about accessibility, see how she's using accessibility as a weapon. She's using accessibility as something that was bigger, something that is bigger than it ever was. You guys saw the conversation. I never had a problem with accessibility. And those who reached out about accessibility, your voice matters. You deserve to be welcomed fully into every space. Basically, basically she's implying that I wasn't welcoming for people who were in need of accessibility. And your needs should never be an afterthought. For me, this event was never about glitter and aesthetics. It was about real women, real stories, and real growth. She knew my intentions from the jump when I was saying, I just want these women to walk out feeling a feeling of incline. I want this event to be a mirror. I want them to see parts of themselves that they've never seen before. She is constantly in this victim mentality. Tell people how it is. Tell them I didn't contribute to anything. Or even if you feel like that was an unjust thing for me to do, sit here and tell people why you feel like you've contributed enough to be a part of this event. But no, now it's about I have very little and accessibility. As someone who comes from very little, I understand what it means to save up to experiences you genuinely are passionate about. But you're the one who's trying to increase the prices to 75. Guys, this is actually like triggering me all over again because I'd never read this caption. This is my first experience seeing this. At the end of the day, God sees everything. He sees my intentions. And he sees your effort. I'm at peace knowing I had led with sincerity. The rest is between them and God. And you know what? God can see us. God can see your intentions. He can, and he will judge this very fairly. But you went on the internet and you lied again and again and again, time and time again. And it just keeps getting worse. She twisted my words. She twisted the narrative. She allowed people to drag me and then use that hate train that she created off of lies to then promote her business. How empowering is it? How empowered do you feel that you're using hate, a hate train that you created off of lies to promote your business? To sit here and say, oh, I'm going to start my own event. Thank you again for your support, your patience, and your love. Stay tuned. I'm already working on something new for us, an event. She used this and she used the attention that she was getting out of it to go create her own event. So what were your intentions this whole time? Because if you really wanted to work hard on an event, you would have poured it into this one. I decided I needed to make a statement. In my statement, I just listed facts. Y'all can read it. I just listed exactly why I removed her, some of the disagreements that we had, how much I invested versus how much she invested, how much I contributed versus how much she contributed. I had to speak up because not only was I being harassed, not only was my family being harassed, but people were calling the venue and calling me a terrorist and emailing my manager and doing all of these like weird things. And the situation was so bad. I don't think you guys understand how bad it was. It was so bad. I would have never went to the internet and entertained this or even put out a statement or anything, but the situation was actually crazy. And so I did put out a statement and I said exactly what needed to be said and I never spoke about it online again. But of course, Hallie goes online, makes a 27-minute long video lying. This video, she made, first of all, loads of claims. Accessibility. This is something that she weaponized. This is something that she used and abused. This is something that she claims she really cares about, but still weaponized. I never had a problem with accessibility. I never said that they can't come. I never said that we can do it next time. The only reason why we were both saying we can do it next time is because basically when it comes to the email, right? Because she was saying, if I had access, if you were to give me access, I would have caught it. Hallie uses a screenshot, the email that this girl sent and the email that she sent it to. If Hallie was somebody who truly wanted solution, she would have taken a look at that screenshot and said, yo, that's not the email. The email that she sent it to was hello@sheevolves.com. If she truly cared, she would have taken a look at the email and taken even a moment to look at it and said, yo, that's the wrong email. However, she went on this 27-minute long video and said, I think she was deleting emails.
She says the email was never sent. Here it is. The email is sent. When I logged onto the email, days later, I noticed that there was no emails. Were they deleted? I don't know. But it's a little weird that none of these emails all of a sudden exist.
She sat there and told people, not only did I ignore this girl who was in need of accessibility because I don't care, she clearly cared more about creating this narrative that I don't care about accessibility, that she cares so much about accessibility and helping, but she didn't take a moment to double check the email. Instead, she came running and blaming me for something. That right there, just that one example tells me that she was so excited to drag my character through the dirt instead of double checking the facts. And that is professionalism. That is her being professional. That is her being calm. The girl never sent the email to me. Not only that, but I've only had access to this email for like 2 days myself. That is crazy. I'm trying to put myself in her shoes and give her benefit of the doubt, but I don't know how to when you sit up here and you lie about something like that and you accuse of somebody of something that that's so deep, not even before any of this happened. When I gave her the benefit of the doubt again and again and again and again. When I've been very careful with the way that I've worded things and the way that I said things, because I've always cared about not letting my words harm somebody or make them feel a certain type of way. Even after all of that, when she had a meeting to go to, when we had a video to edit, I still sat and I edited both parts. I still sat and I put in that effort. And I still didn't complain about it. I still didn't say anything about it. So sitting here and saying I didn't care about you and I've been plotting this whole time, why would I put myself through all that work and all that stress? Because truly what it was I was doing all the work and I was just carrying you along with me. Kept you on my back and just dragged you along. I didn't need to do all that. Another claim that she made was access. That was another big thing too. She basically said that I didn't give her access for days and days and days. She made it seem like this timeline was so long and I've been, I've had access to the website and I had access to the funds and I had access to this and I just never gave her access. Now I want to give you guys the real timeline because she used that to create this narrative that I was controlling everything, and the reason why she didn't contribute much, the reason why she has nothing to sit up here and say I did, is because I was refusing to give her access. As you guys know, the first platform we built was Stan Store. I gave her access to that the day I made it. Like I was literally clicking sign up and I screenshot it and I sent it to her. She never logged in once. Not once. She didn't offer to help once. Instead, she was sending me her photos. Instead, she was sending me her bio, just expected me to put it in there for her. And I did. She implied that I was hiding messages, that I was deleting emails, that I was ignoring accessibility and concerns. I was being an ableist on purpose. And I just want to tell you guys exactly what the timeline looked like. November 9th was the day the email was created. And I'm going to put the screenshots here of when the email was created, November 9th. That is the same night that we were supposed to get on a call. The same night I was supposed to give her access, and she ghosted me and said that her head hurt. November 10th, tickets went live and I posted my video that blew up. That was one night before that I had access to this email. Still that day, she doesn't concern herself with access. November 11th, that is when the girl with the deaf sister reached out. But the tickets were already sold out at that point. And November 12th is the day that Hallie got access. November 11th is also the same day that Hallie asked for access. But I was already telling her I'll give you access on November 10th and on November 9th. But it was just never a priority and there's no need to give it to her because there's really nothing to be done. And so November 12th, she gets access to the email, and that's the same night that she was removed from the project. I only had access to this email for 3 days. I've only had access to it when tickets went live for 2 days. One of those days she had access to. So I only really had access one day before she did. That is another lie to inflate her narrative, to create this dramatic effects, to cover up the fact that she still hasn't done anything. Let's talk about all the contributions she claimed she made, starting with hundreds and hundreds of hours of work. I have never, and correct me if I'm wrong, in my life seen someone spend hundreds and hundreds of hours working on something and still contribute nothing. I've never seen it. That must be a new record because I've never seen it. She said that we got on countless calls. We got on 10 calls total. One of those was the call where I dropped her. But it was approximately 7.5 hours of call. So some of them would be an hour long, some would be an hour and 50 minutes long. And a lot of those times it would just be, Allah is my witness. A lot of times it would just be me updating her. She would just like say the most like crazy ideas, like things that don't even make sense. And then I would have to like reel it back in and be like, okay, but like, let's pipe down. Let's come back to what we're actually doing. That makes sense. Another thing that she claims is that she created an entire Notion template or a Notion page. That is true. We never needed a Notion page, but she decided to go and make it anyway. And she sent it to me. And I was appreciative of it. I'm not going to sit here and say, who told you to make that? But it didn't help the project at all, really. And we didn't use it. On top of that, as somebody who has built a Notion template and knows how much effort and time goes into it when you're building it from scratch, it took me a couple months. And this, I don't know for sure. And I'm not going to sit here and say this is straight facts. facts, but it did look like a template that you just can download. There's multiple event templates that you can download. And the reason why I say that is because it already had like automatic photos in it. It already had like automatic names and stuff filled in. But if you're building something from scratch, it should all be empty. And so I found myself deleting them, filling it in. Yeah, she did create it, but I still sat down and filled it in with all the information that I wrote out in a doc. She claims that she researched foods, Lunds and Byerly and Whole Foods, and that took her months to do. She basically said that I was just like rejecting them and I just didn't like them. The reality is they just didn't work out, and that's okay. Just like how the Stand store didn't work out, just like how I got a lot of no's from brands, but you gotta keep it moving. She did panelist research. She reached out to Nabila, and she was pushing for her co-founder. I don't know what other research was done. I'm literally communicating with people's managers. She sent one text message to her friend and then tried to force her co-founder into this without discussing it with me first. I don't know what kind of research that is. She claims that she contributed to the website. Yes, she did look over it, and all she told me to do was italicize She Evolves and change the color of the button. After I spent 4 days, no breaks, working on that website. Those are her contributions. She also claimed that she was handling marketing. She implied that she contributed to marketing. She did outreach. She showed up every week. What does that look like? What is contributing to marketing? I came up with the content plan. I filmed and posted 4 videos while she only posted 1. I posted the first video a whole day before she did. I sent out a newsletter to 8,000 subscribers. And that's not me saying, oh, I'm so much better than. This is just the facts. Because we could really talk about it. Because you can't just sit here and say, I did marketing and be very generic when I can sit here and say, this is what I did. This is how many hours I put into this. But still there was no delivery. I sat and I pitched and I pitched and I pitched and I pitched to every brand. I made the pitch deck that you use to pitch if you did it all. And I don't know if she pitched anything because the only brand that she came back with was Notion. I was appreciative of every single one of those things, but you can't sit here and claim you did so much when that's just not the truth.
The point is, I did a lot of work. I put in a lot of work, and these text messages show that.
She claims she handled finances with a shared Notion tracker. Why was I the only one who filled it out then? She claimed she took the high road and was respectful. This is the one that blows my mind. She claimed that she was calm, that she took the high road, that she showed grace, that she didn't want to drag me. Her videos literally incited harassment. She watched me get dragged because she didn't give any context. Not only did she allow it, but she used it to fuel herself. She used it to paint herself as such a good person who is driven, who is so morally right. She used it to promote her business. She used it to promote this next event that she's planning.
But it's really and truly not fair. I've been trying to take the high road time and time again. I've been trying to take the high road with this entire event. I've been trying to take the high road throughout that call. I've been trying to take the high road with the way that I presented information on here as well. I tried to be modest about it. I tried to be respectful. I tried, even when I wanted to so badly, I walked away and I took a deep freaking breath.
This is the girl that ran to the internet not even 20 minutes later with a video that had no context, but she knew would create a negative narrative of me. Way before any of this stuff happened, I made a post and me and the girls were talking about like what emotion showed up the most. And I said, I have this problem where I want to protect the person from the harshness of my boundaries. But what does that even mean? And for context, this is about my business. So I'm putting somebody's feelings over my business that I work hard on. And that's why on the call, I had a hard time even saying, this is what you did. You didn't do anything. Yet I was very careful for the way that I spoke to her because I didn't want the harshness of my boundaries to hurt her feelings. But yet she was so comfortable running to the internet and lying about me. Even the girl who needed help with like the accessibility, she was in the comments saying, yeah, Behja ignored us. And Hallie was so kind. And she's like, oh my God, I love you so much. When she knew the truth the whole time. This situation blew my mind, girl. I ain't never seen anything like it. And I think that there's definitely a lot of lessons to be learned from this. For the future, now I learned the lesson. You know what I'm saying? I learned the lesson. There are going to be contracts in place. This is a very odd situation. This is a very weird position for me to be in. And if you thought I wasn't going to speak up and say anything, that is diabolical, because I care so much about the women who I've inspired, the women that I've helped. And for you guys to be seeing these things on me and like starting to I don't know if you guys question, you guys have been so kind and like you guys have been messaging me and things like that, but like seeing that and thinking, oh my goodness, like, is this the girl that I take advice from? I definitely take responsibility for everything that I've done. One of the biggest lessons that I have learned is I need to speak up for myself. Like, I need to talk about the things that are like, I can't just keep letting things go. Letting things go, letting things go, and putting people's comfort and emotions over my own well-being. Because at the end of the day, like, that was a lot for me to carry, and it could have led to burnout. And I will still continue to put my back into this event because it's still happening on December 27th. When you guys see this video, it has already happened. And let me tell you what. The reason why this event is still going to be extremely successful and beautiful and impactful is not because of who's on it. It's not because of who's doing what. It's because it is built on pure intention, hard work, and actual effort. And it comes from a good place. And people feel that. Brands are still reaching out. Opportunities are still being given to me. And that is all by the will of God. And God is good. And God knows when someone has good intentions. God knows how much effort and time was put into this. And that is all that I have to say. I will never, ever, ever, ever be speaking on this again. I can't believe I got myself into this situation. Lessons have been learned, baby. And we grow and we evolve from this. And I want you guys to know I will always reflect. I will always try to learn from it and see the good in it. And I do see the good in it. It also showed me how much strength I have because this could have caused me to spiral. Now, I do not want anybody talking bad about anybody. And you can still choose to see good in a person even if they've made mistakes, even if they've messed up. But I still don't know why she did it, and I still don't know what the intentions were. I do not want anybody hating on anybody else. I know what it's like to be attacked, and I never ever ever want that for somebody. But I'm going to choose once again to give her the benefit of the doubt, and I want you guys to do the same. I'm so grateful that I've been able to grow into the woman that I am today because I could handle something like this. But there are people who are truly struggling with mental health. There are people who are truly struggling in life, period. You never know what somebody's going through. So to go and drag them and to harass them, that is disgusting behavior. And you need to look in within yourself and question, what is wrong with me? Why do I feel the need to go and attack a stranger? The whole point of She Evolves is sisterhood and community. This was real embarrassing. I'll say that. This was real embarrassing. But the last thing we want to do is continue creating division and chaos between us. I hope every single woman sees exactly what happened and played out and just like learn from the mistakes. There's really no need to attack and harass people and claim you're gonna jump them. Those think pieces were crazy. Some of y'all are crazy. But yeah, I love you all so much. And I hope to see you guys next time in a better, beautiful, more uplifting video.